And a pleasant good evening, everybody, and welcome to your Oklahoma Ford Dealers Game of the Week. Tonight, it's Ada taking on Noble. Hi again, everybody. I'm Steve Marshall. Dylan Rivera is alongside. We are all set to bring you some action this evening, although Mother Nature has had a bit of a calling card throughout the day, throughout the last couple days, quite frankly.
Yeah, it's just been constant rain, constant for the whole week. And I'm a student at OU walking across campus. It's horrible.
It's been something else, no doubt about that. It is a artificial surface at Noble is what I was trying to say there. And so both these teams coming in with already having played a game. Noble, of course, won their opener as they beat Newcastle earlier, 42-21. And then for Ada, they lost their opener in a game against Ardmore, one of the top teams in Class 5A. That was by a 33-7 score. These two teams have met 6 times overall in their history, and Ada has won all 6 of them. We'll run down some more of the particulars about this contest, get you a little bit more familiar with these two teams as we get ready to bring you your Oklahoma Ford Dealers Game of the Week. It is game time on YurView. And we'll take a timeout. As you can see, the teams are getting ready to go. We're not too far away from kicking this thing off this evening on your Oklahoma Ford Dealers Game of the Week. We'll take a timeout, come back, and get ready for more. Stay with us.
It's the Ford Summer Sales Event, and now is the best time to buy.
You ready for this, Junior?
Yeah, I think I can handle it.
No pressure. That's just my favorite boat.
Boom.
Make summer go right with Ford, America's best-selling brand. During the Ford Summer Sales Event, find great offers across a huge lineup of Ford cars, trucks, and SUVs. Now get 0% financing for 60 months plus $3,250 cash back on F-150 at your Oklahoma Ford dealer.
Weoki's new money certificate rates are incredible. Transfer money from another institution to a Weoki 35-month certificate and receive 3.05 APY. Yes, that's over 3%. And get a $100 cash bonus for new CD amounts of $100,000 and greater. Open your certificate with new money at Weoki and start earning incredible rates. Federally insured, rate and bonus are for new money only. Other terms and limitations apply. Contact Weoki for details.
And welcome back, everybody. There you can see the scene setter, if you will, the Ada Cougars. They are state champions 19 times over throughout the storied history of their football program. The Noble Bears had their best season ever, really. It was the first time they'd ever made it to the semifinals. They beat Ardmore 28-14 in the quarterfinals. They got to the semis before they were upended by Bishop McGuinness 38-10. So as these two teams get ready, of course, we're talking about Noble, who's been a team that's played in 5A, but Ada got the bump up this year, Dylan, as they came up from 4A to Class 5A.
Yeah, first season in 5A, and that seems a little odd considering that they lost in the state title game last year, and the winner of that game was actually bumped down to 3A. So it seems kind of backwards there, don't you think?
Yeah, it would seem that way, no doubt about it. Both teams, of course, have issues when you come in, and you're talking about high school where you don't even have the the benefit of redshirting guys, or you may lose a whole set of teammates, and that's probably what happened with Ada. As you look at their offense, they returned just 3 players on the offensive side of the football, and all 3 of those guys are on the offensive line. However, for Noble, they returned 6 players on offense, and that would include their quarterback, Hayden Lingle, who we'll watch tonight. He threw for over 2,500 yards last year and 26 touchdowns. So, again, Ada moving up from 4A to 5A, Noble returning seemingly more on offense especially, and they're playing at home. That would tend to lead everybody to believe that Noble would be the favorite in this game here tonight.
Well, Noble played really well last time out, beating Newcastle 42-21. And Hayden Lingle, as you mentioned earlier, he's being a returning starter. He's done a great job so far this year. That first game, 14 of 21, 232 yards and 4 touchdowns. What's going to be interesting to see is, does the weather affect that air raid offense type of feel? Are they going to keep airing the ball out? Are those routes going to be a little bit slippy in those in the turf? Are those cleats going to have a hard time getting some grip? We'll have to find out as the game goes on.
The rain has been kind of spitting a little bit. It's been off and on all day long. At times it's rained very heavily. At other times it has stopped completely. But for the most part, it's been more on than it has been off here today. As you see the coin flip there at midfield. And it looks like Noble won the toss and they will receive the football. So that's the way it all lines out for week number 3 on your Oklahoma Ford Dealers Game of the Week. Getting set to do battle here this evening between Ada and Noble. The guys will go back inside the inflated helmet, it looks like. And we went up to Bentonville a couple weeks ago, and everybody has the blow-up type situation where they come running out of the helmet, and here come the Cougars on the field, and they're just breaking through the banner there. But at Bentonville, Arkansas, they had a big garage door that had a tiger on it. That was their mascot, and very slowly, when it was time, instead of having an inflatable helmet, the garage door rose, and they came out, and the smoke was billowing everywhere else. So it was a very cool situation. But Midwest City showed them what they like in Oklahoma, and that was some good football as Midwest City was victorious in that contest. And we're waiting for the arrival of the Bears. Great high school atmosphere. I talked to coaches and also administrators at both schools throughout the course of the week. They were excited for the game. And remember, if you're tuning in, somebody just told you, that allows you to tell some of your friends, your family, maybe they can't make the game, maybe live out of state, perhaps out of country, to tune in and watch the game tonight on YurView /Oklahoma.com, and you can watch all the action right here. Want to point out our guys working the field there tonight. Riley Cowan and Brad Shelton. The guys have been doing a great job. It's a fabulous picture that we have here for you this evening as we get ready to bring you all the action tonight live from Noble. We've got schedules for both teams that, we have another week of non-district play, or 2 perhaps. We'll let you also know where the experts feel that these teams are going to finish up in district play, whether it was the good guys over at the Oklahoman or the guys at Vipe High School Sports, the magazine, as it looks as though Ada is just about ready to kick the ball away to the Noble Bears. Ada, as you would imagine, if they're going to kick, they're in the white with the maroon helmets and the big A on the side. The Noble Bears, what color would you call that Noble wears?
I'm going to say gold. It's a gold.
It's a light gold. All right.
It's kind of a Georgia Tech gold.
Okay. Yeah, that's a better explanation for it. So Ada will spread the field, get ready to play the special teams, and we're just about underway here for your game of the week. The Ada Cougars getting set to kick it away to the Noble Bears. Ball spotted at the 40-yard line, kicking away for Ada. Number 19 is Tovin Thompson, as he puts the foot into it and drives the ball all the way back into the end zone. Automatic touchback. It is Vegas gold, we are informed.
The official terminology.
I thought only Southmore had Vegas gold, but obviously the Noble Bears have had it for quite some time. Southmore just in their 10th year of existence. Noble's been around for quite a long time.
Does our color expert know what color blue it is? Is it like a royal blue?
I think you might be pressing him there for too many answers there. Let's just go with the football game. How about that? The ball line of scrimmage is at the 20-yard line. We mentioned that the quarterback for the Noble Bears is Hayden Lingle. He was 14 out of 21, 232 yards and 4 touchdowns in the season opener. And the first play is a running play, trying to juke his way and fight forward, but only picking up about 2-3 yards on the carry there for Noble. Number 19 is Gavin Yeager.
Yeah, we didn't see a whole lot of the run game last week. The two main running backs, Brandon Cartwright and Gavin Yeager, combined for just 15 carries total last week.
Second and about 7. Quick pass to the near side is complete. That's going to be good enough for about a 5-yard gain. Lead them for 3rd and short. As Lingle that time able to hook up with his receiver and pick up about 5 or 6 yards. Let's see where they spot it. They're going to spot it right at the 27-yard line, so a legitimate 3rd and 3 coming up for the Bears on their first possession. Noble in formation, puts a man in motion to the right side, fake the handoff. Lots of running room for Lingle. He'll tuck it and go, and he'll get the first down. across the 30 to about the 32, and the flag comes out very late, almost after the play was over, thrown there by the linesman, as you can see, and he'll go over and talk to the referee. Here's a look at the replay, see if we can pick it up.
Yeah, it had to be something after the play if it was that late.
Personal foul, the face mask. I didn't notice it. So the face mask, after they gained the first down, will move the ball all the way close. Let's see if we can pick up the face mask here. Watch your quarterback, the runner now. Number 4.
Yeah, right there at the end.
Got to reach in there, and that's what the call is. So line of scrimmage now at the 47-yard line. After the penalty. Handoff straight up the middle. Gain of about 2 that time. Out to the 49-yard line, and once again on the carry is Yeager.
Yeager last week, 59 yards on his 6 carries. And as I mentioned earlier, Brandon Cartwright, they kind of run a dual back set. He got 9 carries. He had 50 yards, so they combined for a total of 15 carries for 109 yards. We'll just have to see how that compares with the offense, the passing offense.
Lingle, pump fake, now wants to go up top and go deep. Had it for a second, but good hit on the play. Defensively, looked like number 24 was over there, Brendon Malloy. The intended receiver was Isaiah Wilhoit. He got spilled and unable to hold on to the football as you take another look.
Yeah, and it would have been a good catch if he had held on to that for sure with the contact right in midair. A great defensive play from number 24 on Ada. That's Brendon Malloy. A great job to get underneath him and make some contact as he's coming down with the football.
So 3rd and long here. Lingle with the quick pass. It's tipped up in the air, up for grabs. Falls incomplete. Dangerous situation there as the receiver was able to get a fingertip on it, tipped it up into the air, became anybody's ball, and ends up falling incomplete.
Dangerous is a great adjective for that play because I was thinking the same thing. I was like, that's kind of scary. Could have ended up really bad if an Ada defender was there just a little bit sooner.
So it's 4th down and 8. Just on the Noble side of midfield. They're in punt formation. Dropping deep for Noble is Jason Maxwell. Snap is back in good shape. Kick is away. Bounces, takes a great bounce for Noble. May have hit an Ada player, and Noble is saying that they have the football. One of the officials was right there. It's going to be Ada football, but that was very close.
Yeah, that's interesting. You got to think if all the Noble players are saying they've got the ball, there's a pretty good chance they do.
Looked like it hit him right there.
Right in the leg, yep.
But it appears as though he was able to get back on it. Great job by the camera crew providing us with those details there. As now Ada will get it for their first possession from their own 16-yard line. Just under 10 minutes left to go, so 2 minutes with the football for the Noble Bears, and they had to punt it away.
Well, and see, if he hadn't touched that football, why would he dive on it is my question. You know what I mean? It would make a whole lot of sense, so he had to have touched it. Otherwise, he wouldn't have dove on it.
So now it's Ada from their own 16-yard line. Lefty throws it out to the far side. That pass is complete, and he's going to have enough for a first down. Needed to get to the 26. They're going to spot him about the 27, close to the 28-yard line. So an 11-yard pass play on the first play from scrimmage for the Cougars.
Yeah, good call to come out with a quick screen and open up the defense that way. Stretches the field a little bit, and if they were bringing a blitz, thinking run on first down, would have escaped the blitz there.
So they get a new set of downs, and it looks like a penalty on top of that. Did not even see the laundry on the field, so it's just a 5-yard penalty. Oh, that was on the first play, so it's 1st and 5 now for the Cougars. The quarterback is Walt LeBeau. Here's a quick pass to the other side, near side of the field this time, and that should be enough for another first down. Once again, complete there to Kobe Burgess. And Jay Smith for the Noble Bears is down with an apparent injury. rolled over, and it looked like, I thought at first it was an arm or a wrist perhaps, but he's moving both of those in fine fashion, and instead, looking at a knee, you would think that the opportunity for cramps would really not come into play tonight since it's been so cool outside. And we're going to take a timeout. Or let's see if we want to just keep it right here right now as he is up on his feet. That's Jay Smith. He's going to make his way to the sideline, decided limp. And we'll have to watch the sidelines and see if it looks as though he may be coming back or not. You look at that offensive line for the Cougars, pretty good sized boys in there.
Yeah, some big boys, and we got number 50, 73, 71, I'm going to say 78 maybe, and a 70.
Troy Shaw, number 71, the center, 5'9", 270. We'll get the rest of the guys up front for the Cougars. 2 plays, 2 first downs. This time they wait for the receiver to get underneath. That pass is complete all the way out to the 49-yard line. So the Cougars moving the ball very effectively here, not allowing the Bears really any opportunity to get any pressure on the quarterback, just some quick releases. And now they've got it on their own 49. This time it's a running play straight ahead, stopped at midfield, and then lunging forward for an additional 2, perhaps 3 yards, and into Noble territory. Cougars moving the ball here on their first possession of this first quarter of play.
Yeah, and we've seen Ada's offense be successful in the past, obviously going 10-4 last year, but the big thing is only 3 returning starters, so this is a very fresh offense, and we'll see some new faces and see how they handle the spotlight this year.
Wants to throw, pulls it down, then decides to run, and he's hit hard. Knocked down the first one there for Noble, number 24. That's Brian Henniger. And then you've got a couple other guys flying in there, making sure that he doesn't get away and get some additional yardage. Good defensive stand right there for the Noble Bears.
Yeah, great job tackling the quarterback. It seems like a lot of times if you don't react to that quarterback's running ability fast enough, he can make a good play and get some good yardage out of it. So you've got to get on that quarterback quickly and make sure you're paying attention to the backfield and seeing if he's running or not. That'll be a false start. That was number 7 on the offensive side.
So they started this drive on their own 16-yard line. They got it just into Noble territory. And a good start for their quarterback. Walt LeBeau, the senior, 6'1", 190. He's 3 for 3 on this drive so far for about 25 yards. This time, handoff in the backfield, and that's not going anywhere. Number 68 for Noble, one of the first guys there. And that would be Hunter Largent. And if he had some help there and you saw who it was, by all means, lend a hand. But it looked like the big guy right there in the middle of your screen, number 68. They got him listed at 6'2", 315, a junior.
It's a big boy on that defensive line.
You, how big is 78? Clay Warchow, he's 6'3", 275. Noble runs a 3-4, sometimes switch to a 4-2-5. That's what they're in right here. Passing play down the middle, and it's intercepted, taken away by the Bears, as they seem to have read that one, and the pass is intercepted there by number 16, Nathan Hill, the 5'9", senior, coming up with the big play to stop the drive and get the ball back in the hands of the Bears. Take a look.
That ball was way underthrown by LeBeau. I mean, he's got to get that up and over the defender. Obviously, it's number, you said 15? 16.
16, yeah.
Is Nathan Hill. And he's in position to make the play, and so he's got to put that out over Nathan Hill and get it to where only his receiver can get it. But right there, underthrew it, made it an easy interception for the Noble Bears.
All right, so second possession from their own 49-yard line, handoff right side, and he's able to squirt forward maybe for 2 at the most, not much there. Once again, the Ada defense doing a very good job. Ball carrier Gavin Yeagers had most of the calls so far here in the early going. Picks up 2 on that play. No score. Quick moving first quarter of play. Here's Hingle rolling to his left, wanting to throw. Short pass, caught, complete. Knocked out of bounds, although they say keep the clock running. Right at the 40-yard line, and that'll be enough for a first down for the Bears.
And Will Hoyt, look for him to really get involved a lot. That's number 1 for Noble. He is pretty much the number 1 target on this Noble offense out of the receiving core for Hayden Lingle. He likes to throw to him. Last year, 58 receptions, 810 yards, and 10 touchdowns. So look for his production to continue to be a big part of the Noble Bears offense.
So a new set of downs for the Bears. Lingle in trouble, flushed out of the pocket, and he's going to be taken down at the 45-yard line. In on the tackle, number 22, Brendon Malloy, 5'10" junior for the Ada Cougars.
Yeah, and he looked like he was trying to find somewhere to get out of the pocket and scramble out, and he looked right, had a defender there, looked a little bit further up the field to the right, had a defender there, and as he was trying to scramble out left, was caught from behind.
Now at the Cougar 45-yard line, Lingle barks the signals. Ada shows blitz coming off the edge. Lingle avoids the sack and then throws it. There is a receiver in the area, and probably the best choice that he had is he was able to avoid the blitz and then just throw it incomplete. Although they're walking all the way back as though he may have touched down, Dylan.
That's interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't see him touch down. Maybe it was I saw the ball maybe. But that doesn't mean you're down.
May have been just the knee that just touched down just for a brief second because they're bringing it all the way back. Line of scrimmage is now going to be the 44-yard line, and they're going to take a timeout. We will do the same. We've got no score here in Noble. Ada and the Noble Bears scoreless on your Oklahoma Ford dealers game of the week. We'll be right back.
No one thinks about their water heater until it fails.
At that point, you have a huge mess on your hands with water damage everywhere.
A planned water heater replacement can save you a lot of trouble.
Right now, you can save big on a new high-efficiency water heater.
Call Airco Service,
the company you know.
Weoki's new money certificate rates are incredible. Transfer money from another institution to a Weoki 35-month certificate and receive 3.05 APY. Yes, that's over 3%. And get a $100 cash bonus for new CD amounts of $100,000 and greater. Open your certificate with new money at Weoki and start earning incredible rates. Federally insured, rate and bonus are for new money only. Other terms and limitations apply. Contact Weoki for details.
Welcome back. Noble Bears facing a 3rd down and 25 from their own 44-yard line. Lingle dropping to throw, and he's going to throw it deep. Downfield has a receiver wide open, but underthrown and knocked away defensively. Nice job there by Tyler Bellard. Looked like he had gotten behind the secondary and was wide open, Dylan.
Yeah, for sure, and that was the most time that I've seen Lingle had to set up and throw the ball, and he let that thing fly just a little bit too short. And if it had gone maybe a couple yards further and he wouldn't have had to come back to it, that may be a touchdown right there.
Intended receiver was Isaiah Wilhoit, but that'll bring up a 4th down and 25 situation. Clock stopped with just over 5 minutes left to go here in this scoreless first quarter of play. Cougars low snap, bobbles, picks it up off the turf, gets off a high short kick. It's going to hit about the 44-yard line, take an Ada bounce. And that's not going to be, what is that, a punt of about 6 yards is what it looks like.
Well, I think he's a little upset with his long snapper as it didn't all the way reach him and it kind of bounced and he just had to do what he could with it.
Yep.
Couldn't really set up to punt the ball, just had to do it quick. And he ended up just getting a short punt off.
I think he was kind of flat-footed as he punted it, not getting much on the kick. And Ada will get good field position at their own 49-yard line.
Still at a stalemate offensively, but Ada moved the ball fairly well before the interception last possession. So we'll just have to see if maybe this time out works out a little bit better for the Cougars, and maybe no interceptions this time from above.
First play, handoff left side, nowhere. That's going to lose 4 yards. Bears defense all over that one. Number 55 was one of the first ones there. That's Hayden Tenner, 6 foot 185 senior, along with some of those big guys up front on the defensive line for the Noble Bears.
Hunter Largent was back there, and I mean, it was before he even handed off the ball. Those guys were in the backfield. And that's one of those situations where you almost have to just take whatever you're given, or maybe if the quarterback sees it in time, holds on to the ball and makes the play for himself.
So a loss of 4 on the play, 2nd and 14, kind of an end-around give here. That's going to get to the line of scrimmage, and that's about it. Nothing doing for the Cougars, who at the very beginning of their first possession of the game threw 3 consecutive complete passes and seemingly was moving the ball before the interception. But on this go-round here, it was a loss of 4 and then no gain. So now looking at a 3rd and about 14 from their own 46-yard line.
With a 3rd and long, you got to imagine they're going to throw the ball here, and we'll just have to see what the Ada offense draws up here, as they've got 2 wideouts on the top of the screen and 2 wideouts below.
Dropping to throw, LeBeau, and he wants to go deep. One man back there, double teamed, and really no hope for a reception on the play. The pass goes incomplete. Would bring up an apparent punting situation as number 7 runs on the field for the Ada Cougars. That's Hayden Sparks. Let's see who's going to take care of those punting duties.
He looks like number 19.
Number 19 is Tovin Thompson. He had kicked earlier.
Seems like everybody's kind of staying within the 40-yard marks. We'll see if we can maybe get past those this time. Almost blocked the punt there.
He's a little slow in his getting rid of the football. Takes a great roll for the Cougars inside the 20, inside the 10. It's still rolling all the way down to about the 8-yard line. Wow, what a punt there. Pitting the Noble Bears deep inside their own territory.
Yeah, great punt from Tovin Thompson, and we said earlier he punted the ball. It was a pretty good punt that time, and now a pretty good punt once again. And at least he's holding up his end of the bargain here for the Cougars.
On the uncertain things in life, you can put the way the football is going to bounce right there near the top. Those onside kicks, you see when they kick the very top of the football, you usually get a favorable roll out of that, at least the first bounce or two, and then after that you never really know. Deep inside their own territory, straight give up the middle. Looked like there was a hole there for a brief minute, and then a nice play by Ada's number 59 coming up and making the stop, and that's Tegan Rogers.
Well, and that's what good defenses do. They close those gaps as quick as they can, and Ada Cougars just do a great job of collapsing into those holes and making it really difficult to keep running the football on them.
Gain of 1 on the play. Cougars show blitz. Handoff sweeping to the right side, and that's not even going to get back to the line of scrimmage. Again, great pursuit by the Cougars. Rogers over there once again, also getting help from number 24 on that play, Braden Moore, among others.
You got to worry if they don't get out of this scenario where their backs are against the wall. If another punt situation like the last one happens, Ada's going to have great field position.
Big play here for both sides. Noble quarterback Hayden Lingle deep inside his own territory, looking at a 3rd and 11. Cougars show blitz. Lingle drops the throw, flushed out of the pocket, rolls right. Still looking downfield, throwing, and a pass is caught complete. Big first down on the far sideline. Lingle with a great throw there. I believe that's number 15 on the reception, Ryan Wallace.
That's a great throw on the move, and I mean, he's throwing that from just about the goal line, maybe the 5-yard line, and it doesn't get caught until about the 40. And so, I mean, that's a 40-yard throw, 35-yard throw on the run, on target. That's a tough play.
Big play, big first down for the Noble Bears. Now Lingle again, rolling. Throws the short pass. The guy's only about 2 yards away. It's going to pick up a yard.
Yeah, you can call that a pass or you can call it a pitch either way, because, I mean, he was close enough that could have just been a pitch play.
I've got him 5 of 6. Had the one pass downfield that was knocked down. I think that was the only incompletion that he's had to this point.
He had the one to Will Hoyt up in the
deep.
air, and then the one deep to Will Hoyt that was tipped. So he should have 2 completions.
So 5 of 7 so far here in the early going. Second and about 7. Lingle with time to throw, tries to thread the needle, and just unable to hook up with his receiver on that play. And that'll bring up a third down situation for the Bears.
Yeah, it looked like it went right through the bread basket for the wide receiver there. Had his hands ready and just went straight right through his hands. Wasn't able to catch it. Good throw from Lingle, though. Lingle's been doing pretty good. I mean, obviously, you said he's 5 of 8 now. But he seems to be doing a pretty good job of slinging that football around, getting it to his receivers on time and on target.
2,500 yards passing last year, 26 touchdowns. Right now, looking at a big 3rd and 8 play. From near midfield at the 49. Quick slant pass, and that unable to hook up with number 24 on that one, Brian Henniger. That'll be incomplete, and that'll bring up a 4th down situation.
Same target, same ball thrown to him, and again, just dropped it. Looked like right there, that one was a little bit more underthrown, a little bit more of a tough catch, but still could have had a completion there and just dropped the ball.
Let's see what they dial up here. They're in punt formation, just over a minute left to go here in this first quarter, still scoreless. Has time to kick this one away and does. They let it bounce and then attack the football and grabbed it. Noble kind of went to sleep on the coverage, and a nice heads-up play there for the Noble Bears, coming away with it, or for Ada rather, number 1, Kobe Burgess.
Yeah, a smart play from Kobe Burgess. Like you said, Noble kind of fell asleep on that, thinking, oh, well, he's just going to let it bounce. And then after the bounce, it comes straight to his hands. Let me just catch that, let me take off and get myself another 20, 30 yards right there on a great return.
Referee is going to get a holding call, illegal use of the hands against Ada. So that's going to wipe out most of the good return, depending upon where the infraction actually took place. So everybody's retreating back the other way towards the Ada goal line. Question is, how far back? Well, originally they had it in Noble territory, but now the line of scrimmage is going to be their own 27. So 1st and 10 for the Cougars. Still scoreless. Quarterback again is LeBeau. Shows it, keeps it, and pays the price. Gets roughed up in the backfield there by number 24, Henniger again.
Yeah, great job by Noble having multiple players come to the ball. You don't want to have just one player converge on the ball. Even if he seems like he's going to tackle the quarterback, you need to have 2 or 3 guys there just in case to also get in on the hit. Also, I want to mention that was a great block from Matt Malloy on the backside linebacker, that weak side linebacker coming around. Great block. It's just the quarterback above ran out the other direction, so he didn't really see it, but it was a good block.
Flag on the field, still sorting it out. Referee says what is that? I can't remember what that one is. It's against Noble, we know that much. It was thrown in the secondary, and that's going to be an automatic 1st down for the Cougars. With just about 35 seconds thereabouts here left to go in this first quarter of play, scoreless. Neither team has really been close to scoring.
No, neither team has gotten even into the red zone. It seems like once they hit about the 40, 50-yard marker, it's like there's a brick wall, and neither team can seem to get past it.
So the Cougars now with the football at their own 37-yard line. Loose football in the backfield, and I believe Noble got on it first, did they? They're saying that they did. And they're headed off the field, and they do have the football coming away for Noble with the ball. Number 23, that's Brandon Cartwright, the sophomore. As you take a look at the replay.
Yeah, just a poor handoff there, poor exchange between LeBeau and number 1, Kobe Burgess. And because of that, bobbling falls to the ground. Noble able to get the easy pickup. And it wouldn't have happened, I think, honestly, if they weren't in the backfield so quickly. As that handoff was coming and he was coming around with the football, obviously didn't have control of it, but coming around with the football, there was a defensive lineman right there in his face already.
Yep, line of scrimmage at the 30-yard line. Best scoring chance of the night. Handoff, nope, he keeps it himself and then throws it. Talk about your run-pass option all in one play. That's going to be able to pick up about 6 yards. As Lingle took it away, ran it, and then threw it right before he crossed the line of scrimmage, complete out there to Henniger once again, who's doing it on both sides of the football.
Yeah, it's the second time we've seen that play. We saw it a little while ago on the other end of the field, and now seeing it again. It's just kind of an option towards the left or to the right. Gets the defense to think the quarterback's running, and then just pop that out to your wide receiver, maybe gains a few yards.
All right, Noble's on the march, but right now, we're scoreless as we take a timeout. Second quarter coming back your way on your Oklahoma Ford Dealers Game of the Week.
It's the final days of the Ford Summer Sales Event. There are only a few days left to take advantage of great deals like 0% financing for 60 months on the built Ford Tough F-150. So hurry and save big on Ford, America's best-selling brand.
During the final days, get 0 for 60 plus $32.50 cash back on F-150. Hurry, offer ends September 4th at your Oklahoma Ford dealer.
Welcome back to Noble High School. We got a scoreless football game after the first quarter of play. The two teams change ends, and now the Bears are looking at a 2nd down and 3 from the Ada 23-yard line. Lingle, low snap, gathers it in, tries the quick pass, it's deflected, and goes harmlessly out of bounds, incomplete.
We've seen some great defense from both teams all night long, and I think maybe that's why we're in this stalemate, is it seems like these defenses are almost just overpowering the offensive side of the ball. And right there, low snap gets the play started off cold, and then that screen pass just tipped by a linebacker.
So now 3rd down and 3 at the 23-yard line in Ada territory. Lingle looks to the sidelines. Trying to come up with the play call here. Trying to draw them off sides. Cougars showing good defense. The pass is complete and then jarred loose. Picked up by the Cougars. They're still running. No whistles have sounded apparently. And this is going to be a nice return as he cuts back. Walt LeBeau, the quarterback, on the defensive side of the football, and that apparently was a complete pass and a big hit, jarring the football loose, scooped up and nearly taken all the way for the Ada Cougars.
Yeah, great play there by the incoming defensive back, making a big hit, just jarring the football loose. And then, as you mentioned, LeBeau just taking it down the field. And I thought he might have been able to go all the way, but obviously quarterback number 5 there, Hayden Lingle, getting involved at the last second, making it possibly a touchdown-saving tackle along with one of his teammates right there about the 30-yard line.
So turnovers the last couple of possessions for both teams. Noble fumbled. Ada fumbled, I'm sorry. Then the fumble recovery for Ada. And now they have 1st and 10 at the Noble 29-yard line. Let's see what the Cougars are able to do with the football. Little misdirection play. Handoff is stopped in the backfield, dropped for a loss on the play. Nice job defensively there by Brandon Cartwright.
And again, I mentioned these defenses have just been stout all night. Both teams, I mean, it's just been a great job through the first quarter and now the first couple minutes of this second quarter. Neither team really giving up ground and doing a great job of forcing turnovers, as now both teams have won.
No gain, loss of a yard on the play. Cougars are at the line of scrimmage, but looking at the sidelines, waiting for the play call to come in. At quarterback, that's a different quarterback. That's number 5, Zach Carroll. They said they might play a couple different quarterbacks. And he throws it, completes the pass, hit, and then dropped at the 26-yard line. The pass caught there by number 28, Matt Malloy.
And he extended late, trying to create maybe another yard or two of gain there, but the ref didn't give it to him, said his knee was down already. Gave him the spot at the 27-yard line.
So LeBeau recovered the fumble and then ran it a long ways. And now he's out. Zach Carroll is in. They're number 5 and they're number 6. What's the likelihood that they're both left-handed?
That's interesting. Yeah,
I've had to check numbers to make sure that I had that right. Dropping the throw, far side, coming back for the wide receiver screen. Passes incomplete.
Yeah, an interesting play there. It looked like Burgess just kind of lost it in the air. Then once it hit his hands, he was not really sure where it went, and it obviously went up and hit him in the head of all places, and then hits the turf. And lucky to escape that one with just an incomplete pass.
Neither team seems to be able to stand prosperity as they get the football off the turnover, and then the offense has stalled so far to this point. Coming on for the field goal attempt for the Cougars.
Yeah, we'll see if we can finally get some points on the board.
Tovin Thompson. Let's see where they're going to spot the football down at the 34-yard line, so a 44-yard field goal attempt. It's a lengthy field goal at any level. Snap back, ball down, everything in good shape. Kick is on the way. The officials look up, but the kick is going to be short. No good. And we are still scoreless with just under 10 minutes left to go in this clash. Quite a defensive battle so far. Both teams have had the opportunities with turnovers, but on the other side, each team's defense has answered the call and shut the offense down, and we still are scoreless with about 10 minutes to go before halftime.
Yeah, and he had the line on that kick, just didn't have the juice on it. Had to get a little bit more on it to get it up over that crossbar, but enough to get it in the place to where it needed to be. It was right in line, just had to get a little bit more under it.
So now Noble will get it once again at their own 20-yard line. Let's see what the Bears try to do now on this possession. Handoff coming up the middle. Gets away and breaks past the line of scrimmage into the secondary. Nice run here. And then drug out of bounds. Drug a long way out of bounds. He's going to get 29 yards on the carry. Big play there on the handoff to number 19, Gavin Yeager.
Yeah, and Gavin Yeager seems to be a pretty strong runner. He's not going to be somebody that's easy to bring down, as you can see right here. That's Tyler Bellard at the end of the play making the hit out of bounds, and he looked like he was still trying to bring him down, and he just kept going.
1st and 10 for the Bears at their own 49-yard line. Lingle takes the snap, looks left side, throws, complete. And that's going to be another first down as he completes the pass over there to Will Hoyt. He gets inside the 40. They're going to spot him down at the Cougar 37, 38-yard line.
Quick curl route is always a safe play. Curl routes and slant routes, those are very safe pass plays to get you just a few yards there, getting just 11 yards, but enough for a first down, so a good play for the Bears.
So now Noble on the march offensively. After a missed field goal by Ada, trying to get the first points of the game. Quick swing pass to the far side. That's complete. That's going to be enough for a first down. This time hooking up with Henniger once again. Inside the 30. Spot him down at about the 28-yard line. 29.
We've seen Noble really like that screen pass, too. It's been a lot of screens for him. And not only Noble, actually, now that I think about it, Ada's throwing a lot of screen passes as well. Both teams kind of like that, just pop out to the outside and see what they can create from out there.
Bears on maybe their best drive so far here in this first half. Pump fake, wanting to go deep over the middle. Has a receiver. Unable to bring it in. He was open. Lingle led him just a little bit too much. Would have been an outstanding catch, but unable to come up with the reception.
A great read, though, from Lingle trying to fit that wide receiver's pass in there to Will Hoyt. I mean, he had just the end zone in front of him.
Oh, yeah.
Great read, great find, just a little bit off target.
Just under 9 minutes left to go now in this first half, still scoreless. Running play, Yeager straight ahead. He seems to be the meal ticket right there, as he's going to get, as you said, 5-6 yards almost every carry. And that'll bring up a third down and about 4 or 5, I would think.
And as I mentioned early on in the game, I said, are we going to see a lot of the passing that we saw last time out, or are we going to see more running due to this slippery weather? And as we've seen, a lot of running from Gavin Yeager.
And this time he is thrown back at a great defensive play by Brooks Davis, 6'3" senior, getting in the middle of that line of scrimmage, stopping him at the line, and then throwing him backwards. Bears come to the line of scrimmage, looking to see what they can do here as they try to keep this drive alive. Lingle, play action, over the middle, passes in a dangerous area. There were 2 defenders there. It's going to fall incomplete, and that'll bring up 4th down. Let's see how the Bears want to play it.
Yeah, that was a tight window to fit that ball into, trying to get it to number 24 there. That's Henniger, and we've seen him like to throw to Henniger a lot on some quick slant routes, some quick screens, and that one another quick pass, but just a little bit behind him, and there was 2 defenders in the area, so it's a dangerous throw.
They opt to go for it. Lingle looks over the defense, man in motion. Fakes the handoff, wants to throw, goes over the middle, he's open, touchdown, Noble. Beautiful pass, very similar to that play that they just missed on a while ago, but this time Lingle was dead on the money. Touchdown Bears, and they go on top 6-0.
And boy, we've seen some great pass plays from the Noble Bears. Another great throw from Lingle, this one on target this time, finds Will Hoyt in the end zone, and an easy touchdown for the Bears to get on the board.
Threads the needle right there. No safety help in the middle. He was left one-on-one, and Will Hoyt gave him the out move. Cornerback bid on it, and then ran the post play towards the middle, and a great shot throw by Lingle for the touchdown. Extra point attempt on the way. It's up, and it is good. So the Bears on the scoreboard first with 7:51 left to go before halftime. Nice little touchdown pass has Noble on top. They lead it 7-0 on your Oklahoma Ford Dealers Game of the Week. We'll have the kickoff when we come back.
You may have heard of Tulsa Tech, but did you know we offer business and industry training for large and small companies? Come get trained and certified in areas like confined space, HAZWOPER, crane rigging, CPR, first responder, and more. To learn more about our affordable and customized training and how Tulsa Tech can be a valuable resource to your company, call 918-828-5000 or visit us online at tulsatech.edu.
Welcome back, everybody. It was Isaiah Will Hoyt, second touchdown reception of the year, on the money from the quarterback Hayden Lingle. And that puts the Noble Bears on top 7-0. And it had to be the identical play that they almost hooked up on earlier in that drive, but they got it all figured out and worked it to perfection. That was a pretty play.
Yeah, and both times the play seemed to really just pick apart that Ada defense. And the first time just a little bit off target by the quarterback, and the second time Hayden Lingle comes back, makes an accurate throw, and we see a touchdown for the Noble Bears.
Still a long way to go in this first half of play. But we've had our first points of the contest. Noble on top, leading it by a score of 7-0. Kicker for Noble is Caton Myers. He drives it again back into the end zone. Automatic touchback. It's a good weapon to have in high school football. If you've got a guy that consistently puts it into the end zone, you never have to worry about having any miscues or foul-ups on your special teams, on the kickoffs anyway. And you'll run across some kickers like that will go and play in sophomore, junior, and senior year and never have a kick returned. Not everybody can do that. It takes a strong leg, no doubt. So the Cougars will start now trailing for the first time. Both teams have had their chances, but Noble the first one and able to take advantage and actually get some points on the board. Right before that, Ada had missed a field goal that would have given them a lead. And now the Cougars must come from behind, trailing 7-0. Faked the end around, dropped in the backfield. And that was LeBeau, who was quarterbacking earlier, now playing the running back spot, as number 5, Zach Carroll, is in at quarterback.
Last game, Ada's offense only put up 7 points, so we'll see if they kind of struggle here today, just like they did last week, or maybe this time they can get it up off the ground after a week of practice.
Chris Barris is the head coach for the Ada Cougars, and you play a 5A power like they did in Ardmore last week, and then Noble this week. That's 2 teams within the top 10 in traditionally what is a class larger than what you're used to playing in. They've held their own here in this first half, trail at 7-0. They've had the opportunities just as well. But boy, when you are given the task of having to move up a class, you've got to play a little bit better each and every week, and I'm sure they still think they can win this game, but they can't probably wait until you get back into some of those easier district games. This is a tough schedule to start off the season. Here's a pass play that's complete. That's going to be good enough for a first down.
He's still going. He's still going.
Sparks on the reception down the sideline, showing some speed. One man to beat. If he gets the block, he gets it.
Oh,
but is ruled out of bounds at the 1 or 1.5 yard line. That's the play they were looking for.
Yeah, that'll spark their offense. Hayden Sparks on the long run after the pass. Just a short throw, and that yards after catch for sure. He racked a ton up right there. Some great downfield blocking as well from Kobe Burgess. Made 2 different guys kind of hesitate to get into the play, and right there almost ran his own man out of bounds after making a block on the last defender.
They spotted at the Noble 3 yard line. Give to LeBeau, tries to get to the outside. Maybe got a yard. He gets inside the 2 yard line, and that'll bring up 2nd and goal. With just under 2 yards, they've got to score here, would be my thought, against this very tough Noble football team. Ada has never beaten Noble. Again, 6-0. Cougars coming in lifetime against the Bears. There's the sideline look, just how close they are and how close our cameras are able to get you to all the action here tonight on YurView. Quarterback draw into the end zone. Touchdown Cougars.
Great play call there by the Ada offense. Will LeBeau, or not Walt LeBeau, that's actually Zach Carroll. Zach Carroll on the quarterback keeper, able to go right up the middle. Made the defense thing handoff. As you can see, the sweep around here. Fakes the handoff, and he'll take that straight up the middle, and an easy touchdown for the Cougars.
So it takes them just under 2 minutes after Noble had gone on top, now the all-important extra point, to make this a tie ball game. In for the extra point once again is Thompson. Snap back, ball down, kick on the way. It is up, and it is good, and we are all tied up. 5:39 left to go. A good first half of football. Ada and Noble. It's your Oklahoma Ford Dealers game of the week. It's game time on YurView. We'll come back with the kickoff.
It's the Ford Summer Sales Event, and now is the best time to buy.
You ready for this, Junior?
Yeah, I think I can handle it.
No pressure. That's just my favorite boat.
Boom.
Make summer go right with Ford, America's best-selling brand. During the Ford Summer Sales Event, find great offers across a huge lineup of Ford cars, trucks, and SUVs. Now get 0% financing for 60 months plus $3,250 cash back on F-150 at your Oklahoma Ford dealer.
Well, we've got a good one here in Noble with 5:37 left to play in this first half. It was very evenly played. Both teams had chances to score early, but nobody could get on the board until these last 2 possessions. Noble was able to get on the scoreboard first as they had the touchdown pass from Lingle to Wilhoit to make it 7-0. And then Ada answers back. Big play on the reception by Sparks got them in scoring position. And then Carroll on the quarterback draw scores it. Extra points are both good, and we're tied at 7 apiece. And now the Bears on the return get it out across the 20 and no further. Taken down there, and that's where the Bears will take over 1st and 10. So maybe both these teams loosening up a little bit. We might see a little more high-flying offensive action.
Yeah, and right before that long pass play from Jordan Sparks and that pass from number 5, Zach Carroll, I mentioned that Ada's offense has only scored 1 touchdown so far this season. They scored only once last week. And then right after that, that long pass play takes them all the way down inside the 5-yard line, and then just able to clean up from there and get some points on the board. But, yeah, for sure, I think maybe now both teams will start seeing the ball getting sling around some more and see what happens.
Lingle, they set up the screen pass very well, and they forgot just one thing, to catch the pass. And the fall's incomplete, and that'll bring up a 2nd down and 10. Cougars have been showing blitz all night long. They came that time. Looked like Noble was ready for it, but just couldn't hook up between the quarterback and the receiver. 2nd down and 10 for the Bears.
Ooh, what happened there?
Never got the football out. Ada is saying they've recovered inside the 20-yard line. Everybody, including the man in the white hat, says it's Ada football, and that's all that matters. Cougars with a huge turnover will take over 1st and 10 at the Noble 18-yard line.
I wonder what happened here. I mean, it didn't even look like the snap reached the quarterback. Maybe he hit his own leg or something. That's odd. You don't really see that.
That was my first inclination. The right guard was pulling, the right guard was pulling to the left, but it didn't look like he got behind the center before, in order to block it himself. I think it was just on the center on that play.
Yeah. Interesting. You don't see that a lot.
No, ever. Hard to tell even from that vantage point. So a big turnover. Gives the ball back to the Cougars in scoring position in the red zone. Handoff up the middle and busting inside the 15 down to the 11-yard line. Pickup there of about 6 or 7. Clock running, 5:10 left to go here before halftime. Cougars knocking on the door, trying to take the lead. Quarterback is Gilliam as he looks to, or rather Carroll, and now we have flags flying. And this one's going to go against the Cougars. Let's see our clock there with 4:55 left to go here before halftime. Zach Carroll, number 5, your quarterback, looking to the sidelines of the Ada Cougars. Second down and 9 now after the 5-yard penalty. They were looking at a 2nd and 4. End around, had trouble securing the football, still trying to fight and get loose. Squirts forward for about 2 yards. They're going to say that he's down at about the 16-yard line. Needs to get to the 8, so 3rd and 8 coming up.
Well, Brandon Cartwright for Noble was just sitting there waiting on that end around, just waiting for Kobe Burgess to come into his hands, and wraps him up and makes a good play on the football.
So 3rd and 8 for the Cougars, deep inside Noble territory. Carroll wants to roll it to the left, keeps it himself, hit down at about the 15-yard line, and that'll bring up a 4th down situation right at the 15-yard line. So what are you going to call here, Coach Rivera?
I don't know. I mean, I think Ada's got a good kicker. Last time just missed it a little bit short, but it was a 44-yard kick. And this one much shorter, so I'm thinking this one is doable. And so I'm taking the 3 points just as the Cougars are doing here.
32-yard field goal attempt for Thomason. Snap is back, kick is away, everything looks to be good. And it is a field goal for the Ada Cougars. Up and good there by Tobin Thompson. And that gives Ada a 10-7 lead with 3:31 left to go here before halftime. Cougars' first lead of the night.
And I got a score update from across the state. Broken Arrow's up 27-7 on Owasso right now.
Wow.
I guess I didn't realize how good Broken Arrow was going to be this year. I mean, we consistently seem to be kind of on the outskirts, it seemed like. And now this year it looked like maybe they're reaching that mountaintop.
It's still early, Dylan.
It is, but I mean, we've beaten Union, and now we're way ahead of Owasso. So unless Jinx is magically going to be awesome when they play us.
Well, that wouldn't be a surprise in most corners of the state.
That's true. That's true. I'm starting to build up a lot of belief in Broken Arrow right now.
All right.
I'm jumping on the bandwagon.
Okay, nothing wrong with that. You're a grad, so you can do that. 10-7 our score. Cougars on top of the Bears. With 3.5 minutes left to go here in this first half of play. It's your Oklahoma Ford Dealers game of the week. Next week, we will have for you another big contest between John Marshall and Douglas.
That one will be a big game. That one's going to be definitely one that you guys want to tune into.
Here's the kick. Return opportunity for Noble. They're going to get it out to the 20-yard line, and that is it. Wilhoit goes down, and that's where the Bears will put it in play. 1st and 10. Wilhoit a little banged up as he gets up rather slowly.
Now that's not good for Noble if Wilhoit was to be in pain, as obviously he is Lingle's #1 target, and he's been the beneficiary of quite a few passes from Lingle, including the touchdown pass earlier on.
1st and 10. Give up the middle. Nice running room. Gain of about 8-9 on the play. Out to the 24-yard line. Give him 8 on the carry. That'll set 29. Up a 2nd and 2.
29-yard line.
Yes, you are correct. Final 2.5 minutes of this first half of play. Bears at home, but they're trailing right now against the Ada Cougars. Man in motion to the near side. Lingle fakes the handoff, pulls it back, throws over the middle, and it's intercepted. Taken away by the Cougars once again on the interception. #1 is Kobe Burgess, and he gets it all the way inside the 20-yard line. Another big break for the Cougars.
Well, and I don't think that one was the fault of Lingle. It looked like it may have actually been tipped by his receiver, thinking it was probably just going to fall to the ground. Kobe Burgess able to get a couple of hands on it, bobbled it around, and then ended up catching the ball. And a great job by Burgess to stay with it, and now putting Ada back into the red zone.
You can't give up field turnovers and then give the field position on top of that.
There was a flag on the play.
Yeah, let's see what that's about, because they're walking. I started to say they were walking back to benefit Noble, and they're going to spot it down. Looks like the infraction took place at about the 30. They're going to spot it down at the 39-yard line now in Noble territory. But it is Cougar football.
No longer in the red zone, though. Guess that's better than the green zone. Everybody hated the green zone last night.
Handoff up the middle. Short gain, a yard perhaps. Now, how does Ada want to play it as the clock is going to go under 2 minutes left? You've been given an opportunity, and you certainly want to make the most of it. You don't want to just lay down and protect a 3-point lead on the road, certainly.
Yeah, you definitely want to attack, especially with Noble's offense being pretty good, and then obviously their defense has been doing a good job of keeping Ada under control, but you definitely want to put some points on the board, whether it be a touchdown, which is obviously preferred, or even just a field goal to get something on the board and maybe expand that lead.
moving the pile forward on that play, as he was hit originally at about the 36-yard line, fights ahead for 2 more yards, gets it to the 34-yard line in Noble territory, needs to get to about the 29, so you're looking at 3rd and a long 5, maybe 6. And now it's going to be 3rd down and about 11. So the right tackle jumped a little bit early.
Well, that's definitely not what you want if you're trying to score here in the last minute of play. That'll move you backwards. Reset. Now it's 3rd and 10, almost like you didn't get anywhere.
Well, you wonder now if this is going to change the play call. You also wonder now, with 1:08 left to go, if they just don't run it and try to use as much clock as possible and not risk the turnover. You would think and hope that they would be going for it. Let's see what happens here on 3rd down and 10. Dropping the throw, looking over the middle, throwing, complete. 1st down yardage inside the 10-yard line, all the way down to the 8-yard line. Great call, great execution on the pass completion there to Hayden Sparks, who is writhing in pain at the moment.
Yeah, great throw once again. This one from Carroll, right on target from the lefty to Sparks, right in between 2 defenders, and he had some green in front of him, able to take that inside the 10-yard line, and takes a pretty big hit from 2 different Noble Bears.
So he is down on the field, and the referee is telling both teams to head to the sidelines. That's our cue to send it to the sidelines as well. We'll take a timeout. We'll get you an update on the injured player, Hayden Sparks, and return. Ada on top of Noble, knocking on the door. They lead at 10-7.
It's the Ford Summer Sales Event, and now is the best time to buy.
You ready for this, Junior?
Yeah, I think I can handle it.
No pressure. That's just my favorite boat.
Boom.
Make summer go right with Ford, America's best-selling brand. During the Ford Summer Sales Event, find great offers across a huge lineup of Ford cars, trucks, and SUVs. Now get 0% financing for 60 months, plus $3,250 cash back on F-150 at your Oklahoma Ford dealer.
Good morning, Bella.
Good morning.
Are you ready?
Yeah. 5 little monkeys.
Yay, Bella!
Hold still. Almost done.
Oh, Bella, I really love playing with you.
Thanks, Grandma. I really like our visits.
Whatever tech tomorrow dreams up, you'll be ready with Giga Blast. Future speed internet is here from Cox.
Welcome back to Noble. Steve Marshall, Dylan Rivera. And apparently the injured player up, and we'll check on him here during the halftime intermission. But right now it's 1st and goal for the Cougars. 50 seconds left to go. Handoff going to get them down to about the 6-yard line as they give the ball there to Tyler Bellard. And now a timeout taken by the Cougars.
Well, and Hayden Sparks is a big loss for the Ada Cougars. As we saw, he was the one with the big pass play, took it all the way down inside the 5-yard line, and then right there taking that one inside the 10-yard line. And he's done a great job using his legs after catching the ball to create some more yardage and get a little bit more on the positive side for the Ada Cougars. And now with him out, who do you turn to? I mean, obviously Kobe Burgess is a good receiver, and he's been doing a pretty good job, but he's had some hard times holding on to the football.
We told you earlier that we have both team schedules for the rest of the season. For the Ada Cougars, next week they will play Duncan. That's a home game for them. Then they will play on the road at Coweta. They will then host McAllister on the 28th. Obviously, you can tell that they are playing in what is considered an east side of the state district. On October the 5th, they get Glenpool at home. Then they are at Durant. They host Bishop Kelly. They host Tulsa Hale, and then they play at Tulsa Edison. That wraps up the regular season for Ada, and they hope that they can get some victories down the way and make it into some postseason play. We'll tell you about that Noble schedule as we continue, but right now second down and goal for the Cougars. End around, and that's going nowhere. Great read on that play. Not sure the play call there, as the tackle's made in the backfield by Noble's number 20. That's Gabe Hudson.
The last two times that Ada has called that end around, it's been busted up before it got anywhere, even past the line of scrimmage. There was a defensive lineman or a defensive back or a linebacker right there waiting on them just to keep coming. And another good hit, another good read by the Noble Bears to see that coming.
And they knew that I had to give you the Noble schedule, so they took another timeout, so we do appreciate that. Noble, for their part, they will host Piedmont next week. Then they will play at Duncan, host El Reno, play at Altus. Then they will host Western Heights, play at MacArthur, host Ardmore, before ending up the season playing at Southeast. When we looked at these two teams, how they were picked by the experts, the Oklahoman had Ada finishing in 5th place in District 5A3. Vipe High School Sports Magazine had Ada finishing 3rd behind Kelly and Coweta. Both of those publications had Kelly and Coweta 1 and 2 in district play. In the Noble district, the Oklahoman had Noble finishing in 5th, and Vipe had Noble finishing in 3rd. Coming into the preseason, at the beginning of the year, it was Noble who was ranked number 6 in the state in 5A, and Ada was ranked number 10. So here we go. Another opportunity. Final 22 seconds left before halftime. Ada trying to take advantage of the big play as they roll the quarterback out to the right side, looking for some running room. Escapes another would-be tackler, now racing towards the sidelines. He's going to be taken down. The clock will continue to run. 8 seconds left. 5 seconds left. And it looks as though the clock is going to run out. They did get a timeout left. I wasn't sure, since they weren't signaling it, if they even had a timeout left.
Maybe they were just taking it late so they could set up for a field goal.
All right, so that's what they're going to do, and that's what we will have coming up next. Ada already leading it by a score of 10-7. They'll put 3 seconds back on the board to see if they can add to the lead. They are 1 of 2 on field goal attempts tonight, but as Dylan pointed out, they missed. The miss was from, 44?
44 yards, yeah.
44 yards, and then they made one, I believe it was from 32. So now another opportunity. This should be, unless it's a penalty, the final play of this first half. They'll spot it right down at the 20, so it will be a 30-yard attempt to see if the Cougars can extend their lead. Kicker again, Tobin Thompson. Snap is back, and it's blocked. Loose football, they can play it. He's gathered in, taken down. So they miss the field goal. Noble gets some good penetration, gets a hand on it, and that is the end of the first half of play, as both teams now will retreat to the locker room. It's the guy right
24.
here. 24. Henniger, right?
Yeah, Henniger.
He was everywhere in that first half of play. He gets the block, and that keeps the score where it stands, 10-7. The Cougars on top of the Bears on your Oklahoma Ford Dealers Game of the Week. We'll take a timeout. We'll continue. Come back with some halftime highlights for you. Check some other scores as well right here on YurView.com. We'll be back.
It's the Ford Summer Sales Event, and now is the best time to buy.
You ready for this, Junior?
Yeah, I think I can handle it.
No pressure. That's just my favorite boat.
Boom.
Make summer go right with Ford, America's best-selling brand. During the Ford Summer Sales Event, find great offers across a huge lineup of Ford cars, trucks, and SUVs. Now get 0% financing for 60 months plus $3,250 cash back on F-150 at your Oklahoma Ford dealer.
Weoki's new money certificate rates are incredible. Transfer money from another institution to a Weoki 35-month certificate and receive 3.05 APY. Yes, that's over 3%. And get a $100 cash bonus for new CD amounts of $100,000 and greater. Open your certificate with new money at Weoki and start earning incredible rates. Federally insured. Rate and bonus are for new money only. Other terms and limitations apply. Contact Weoki for details.
No one thinks about their water heater until it fails.
At that point, you have a huge mess on your hands with water damage everywhere.
A planned water heater replacement can save you a lot of trouble.
Right now, you can save big on a new high-efficiency water heater.
Call Airco Service,
the company you know.
Good morning, Bella.
Good morning.
Are you ready?
Yeah. 5 little monkeys.
Yay, Bella!
Hold still. Almost done.
Oh, Bella, I really love playing with you.
Thanks, Grandma. I really like our visits.
Whatever tech tomorrow dreams up, you'll be ready with Giga Blast. Future speed internet is here from Cox.
Tulsa Tech has really helped me build my future. Woodworking is my passion. I've always wanted to be a carpenter. The carpentry program is a great program to get into. The teacher is fantastic. He teaches us about quality, and no matter what you do, you need to have pride and integrity in your work. The facilities here are state-of-the-art. All the tools here are the best of the best. This class has been a great opportunity for me. It's one of my favorite classes ever. We've had so much fun, the best 3 hours of my day. Tulsa Tech has really helped me make my own path in so many ways.
The Giga Blast Halftime Show, powered by Cox, is brought to you by your Oklahoma Ford dealers, the best in Oklahoma. Airco, the company you know. Tulsa Tech, for your future success, go to tulsatech.edu. And by Weoki Credit Union. Join us all fall long for some of the top high school football from around the country on Game Time.
Welcome back, everybody. 10-7 our score. It's time now for your Giga Blast halftime show. As you can see, the Noble Marching Band performing out there. Ada Cougars on top. They lead Noble 10-7. I'm Steve Marshall. Dylan Rivera is alongside. Back and forth, close football game. Both teams had more chances. You maybe could argue that there should be more points on the board, but I thought it was pretty even first half overall.
Well, yeah, that first quarter, both teams scoreless, and then the second quarter we saw it really take off, and it was 10-7 there at halftime. Some great offense, some great defense. It's just been a great game overall, and we'll have to see how the second half plays out. I'm excited. I think this has been a really fun game to watch.
All right, let's take a look at some of the Giga Blast halftime highlights for you as we pick up the action here in this first half of play on your Oklahoma Ford Dealers Game of the Week. 10-7 our score. Ada on top of the Noble Bears at the halftime intermission. All right, as we take a look here, this is Noble coming up with an interception early in the contest, just stepping up and making a nice play.
Yeah, it was an underthrown ball. It was headed for Tanner Gilliam, and Tanner Gilliam is one of those wide receivers that we haven't heard a lot of tonight, but I do know that Zach Carroll likes to throw the ball to him. And right there, underthrown, an easy interception for the Noble Bears.
All right, the next play here is going to be Noble coming up with a big pass play as Lingle throwing downfield. And the reception made there by number 15 for Noble, and that was hooking up with Ryan Wallace.
Yeah, and they say every quarterback has their Heisman moment. So far this season, I bet that's his Heisman moment. I mean, he was scrambling out of the pocket, made about a 40-yard throw on the run, and it was right on target. Couldn't have been a better throw.
Both teams had early chances in the football game, and here's a big play defensively as the ball is stripped loose, and Noble is going to be able to come away with the football here, setting them up in what seemingly was great field position, but they were unable to come away with any points. Let's move it now to the second quarter. Still no score in the contest at this point, but that's all about to change here.
Yeah, and right here, it was a great throw from Lingle. We saw just maybe one or two plays before that. It was two plays. 2 plays before that, they ran almost the exact same route, and the pass was just off target and wasn't a good throw to Will Hoyt. And that second time out, they ran it again, that time on target, and we see 6 points put up on the board.
All right, and then we take a look here. We're going to watch Ada come up with a big pass play as the pass is completed on the far side of the field as they get it right there to Hayden Sparks, who had a big first half.
Yeah, what that play doesn't show is it was just a short pass, probably not much more than a 10-yard pass, if anything, and then he took it all the way down the field, able to pick up probably 60, 70 yards with his feet before getting knocked out of bounds within the 5-yard line.
All right, so Noble leading at 7-0, but Ada's going to tie it up right here as you watch. Little quarterback draw and getting into the end zone, quarterback Zach Carroll.
Yeah, great job faking the handoff. He really sold it, kind of bouncing off to the right. That little bounce step says, okay, I'm handing the ball off. It's going to this wide receiver that's coming around. Everybody on the defense thought it was an end around. He was able to scramble up the middle for a quick gain.
A little later, after a turnover, Ada has another opportunity to take the lead. This is a field goal attempt from 32 yards out, and Tobin Thompson is able to knock it through, and that gives the Cougars a 10-7 lead. And then after that, you're going to watch, next play here is going to be Ada coming up with a big interception by Kobe Burgess, as he's able to make the big play for the defense, and this is the end result after he's already picked it off.
Yeah, and that one was interesting. It looked like the pass was tipped by one of the Noble wideouts, and then Burgess just kind of tipped the ball around, kept it up in the air, was able to bring it in and take it back some ways.
And then Ada, on this next highlight that we're about to show you, is going to come up with the big play after an interception. And this is going to be, again, number 5, Carroll, going over the middle, hooking up with Hayden Sparks, getting them in scoring position.
Yeah, and Hayden Sparks, that was actually the last play that we've seen of him. He went down after that play, but a great first half from him. And if he's able to get back out on the field, it'll definitely be a big plus for the Ada Cougars.
So that got them in field position, leading 10-7 right before the end of half. They try another field goal, but this one is blocked, and that will send both teams to the locker room with Ada on top, leading on the road at halftime over Noble by a score of 10-7. We will continue with more of your Giga Blast halftime show right here on your Oklahoma Ford Dealers Game of the Week. 10-7, Ada on top of Noble. We'll be right back.
It's the final days of the Ford Summer Sales Event. There are only a few days left to take advantage of great deals like 0% financing for 60 months on the built Ford Tough F-150. So hurry and save big on Ford, America's best-selling brand.
During the final days, get 0 for 60 plus $32.50 cash back on F-150. Hurry, offer ends September 4th at your Oklahoma Ford dealer.
Weoki's new money certificate rates are incredible. Transfer money from another institution to a Weoki 35-month certificate and receive 3.05 APY. Yes, that's over 3%. And get a $100 cash bonus for new CD amounts of $100,000 and greater. Open your certificate with new money at Weoki and start earning incredible rates. Federally insured, rate and bonus are for new money only. Other terms and limitations apply. Contact Weoki for details.
Good morning, Bella.
Good morning.
Are you ready?
Yeah. 5 little monkeys.
Yay, Bella!
Hold still. Almost done.
Oh, Bella, I really love playing with you.
Thanks, Grandma. I really like our visits.
Whatever tech tomorrow dreams up, you'll be ready with Giga Blast. Future speed internet is here from Cox.
Tulsa Tech's our primary source of training. From specialized machining to leadership training, there's definitely a technology gap between the actual working of the machines and the talent pool of people able to operate these machines. The more that we can educate ourselves, our employees, the better off that we are to serve our customers. Tulsa Tech has programs for your whole organization to learn. No matter what size your company is, Tulsa Tech can help.
It's the Ford Summer Sales Event, and now is the best time to buy.
You ready for this, Junior?
Yeah, I think I can handle it.
No pressure. That's just my favorite boat.
Boom.
Make summer go right with Ford, America's best-selling brand. During the Ford Summer Sales Event, find great offers across a huge lineup of Ford cars, trucks, and SUVs. Now get 0% financing for 60 months plus $32.50 cash back on F-150 at your Oklahoma Ford dealer.
No one thinks about their water heater until it fails.
At that point, you have a huge mess on your hands with water damage everywhere.
A planned water heater replacement can save you a lot of trouble.
Right now, you can save big on a new high-efficiency water heater.
Call Airco Service,
the company you know.
You may have heard of Tulsa Tech, but did you know we offer business and industry training for large and small companies? Come get trained and certified in areas like confined space, Hazwapper, crane rigging, CPR, first responder, and more. To learn more about our affordable and customized training and how Tulsa Tech can be a valuable resource to your company, call 918-828-5000 or visit us online at tulsatech.edu.
Welcome back to Noble, everybody. There you see our halftime score. The Ada Cougars on the road right now leading the Noble Bears by a score of 10-7. Noble blocked a field goal right there at the end of the half. Ada actually had 2 more field goal opportunities, so they could be leading 16-7, which would put them up by 2 scores. But right now, close ball game, 10-7 with the Cougars on top. Welcome back again. This is your Giga Blast halftime show, and you're taking a look at some of the scores from around the state. I know Broken Arrow's still winning, but go ahead and give us the scores anyway.
Okay, well, I'm going to go away from Broken Arrow for a second. Let's start with kind of sticking around in 5A. Coweta is down to Tahlequah right now, 27-17. That's at Tahlequah, so Tahlequah's got the home advantage there. And kind of staying around in our area here, Westmore is up 21-14 on Southmore. Let's see what else. Poto's above McAllister right now, 21-16. That one's still in the first quarter according to this. That seems like a high-scoring first quarter, so maybe that hasn't been updated or something. Bishop McGinnis and Bishop Kelly deadlocked at 14 right now. That one is in the third quarter. And so plenty of interesting scores from around the state. And I think we're getting right into the thick of high school football as we start to take over week 3 and start to get closer and closer to that midpoint of the season, and we'll start to get more of that playoff conversation. Who's going to playoffs, who's going where.
Get some of the district games to start. Do you have any scores? Since you're looking at Broken Arrow, I always like to see what the Altus Bulldogs are doing because they were playing their rival Vernon, Texas tonight. That's the closest school that Altus plays is in Vernon, Texas. All the other road games, the closest ones they have would be in Lawton. So Altus, a 5A school, state champs a couple years ago. Still hoping and thinking that they have a very good defense. They beat Lawton High, which is something they hadn't done in a long time. But if we have that, we'll pass it along because I know a lot of Altus folks like to tune in and watch our Oklahoma Ford Dealers Game of the Week. As I said, I got to talk to some of the administrators at both of the high schools this afternoon, so they were wanting to pass along the web address for our contest here this evening. Obviously, if you're watching, you have found us. YurView Oklahoma, YurView / Oklahoma.com is where you need to go. Were you able to find that score, my man?
I was not, but I did find one that is interesting for next week.
Okay.
Is John Marshall's up 38-0 on Capitol Hill right now. And that one plays into next week as we have John Marshall and Douglas.
Right. Very good. So John Marshall, coached by Rashawn Woods, who did some games with us in the very inception here a couple years back. And, of course, Capitol Hill has been a school that was one of the reasons that they changed a lot, that you have your 0-week games. Is Capitol Hill, I believe, was either a 4A or a 5A school, and they just couldn't hang with a lot of those teams that were playing. They didn't have the facilities for football, nor the guys to come out and play. Dan Kokenauer, longtime coach at Edmond Santa Fe, had just finished up coaching at Southwestern Oklahoma State University, has taken over the Capitol Hill program, and obviously it's going to take more than just one guy showing up, and it will take a couple years before they're able to build that program back up. We do have a score. Altus does lead Vernon, Texas, 28-0, the score in that one. So you can talk about your Broken Arrow Tigers, but how about them Bulldogs? We'll take a time out. It's your Giga Blast halftime report right here on your Oklahoma Ford Dealers Game of the Week. Ada on top of Noble. They lead it 10-7.
It's the final days of the Ford Summer Sales Event. There are only a few days left to take advantage of 0% financing for 72 months, plus an extra $1,000 cash back across a great lineup of Ford SUVs. So hurry and save big on Ford, America's best-selling brand.
During the final days, get 0 for 72, plus $1,000 bonus cash on Escape, Explorer, and Edge. Hurry, offer ends September 4th at your Oklahoma Ford dealer.
Good morning, Bella.
Good morning.
Are you ready?
Yeah. 5 little monkeys.
Yay, Bella!
Hold still. Almost done.
Oh, Bella, I really love playing with you.
Thanks, Grandma. I really like our visits.
Whatever tech tomorrow dreams up, you'll be ready with Giga Blast. Future speed internet is here from Cox.
Tulsa Tech has really helped me build my future. Woodworking is my passion. I've always wanted to be a carpenter. The carpentry programs are a great program to get into. The teacher's fantastic. He teaches us about quality, and no matter what you do, you need to have pride and integrity in your work. The facilities here are state-of-the-art. All the tools here are the best of the best. This class has been a great opportunity for me. It's one of my favorite classes ever. We've had so much fun, the best 3 hours of my day. Tulsa Tech has really helped me make my own path in so many ways.
No one thinks about their water heater until it fails.
At that point, you have a huge mess on your hands with water damage everywhere.
A planned water heater replacement can save you a lot of trouble.
Right now, you can save big on a new high-efficiency water heater.
Call Airco Service,
the company you know.
Weoki's new money certificate rates are incredible. Transfer money from another institution to a Weoki 35-month certificate and receive 3.05 APY. Yes, that's over 3%. And get a $100 cash bonus for new CD amounts of $100,000 and greater. Open your certificate with new money at Weoki and start earning incredible rates. Federally insured, rate and bonus are for new money only. Other terms and limitations apply. Contact Weoki for details.
Welcome back to Noble. Officials back on the field. We're not too far away from beginning our second half of play. Ada Cougars on top, leading it by a score of 10-7, and you have to wonder what each coach is telling the ball club at halftime, what type of adjustments will be made. We really, other than Gavin Yeager, who's had a couple of nice plays running the football, we haven't seen a whole lot of success running the football tonight. It's been big plays in the passing game.
Yeah, not a lot of running the football at all, actually. It seems like most of the time it's been pass plays. But both teams comfortable with passing the ball. Both teams have good quarterbacks, good receivers. And so we've seen some consistency through the air, and I think it's benefited both you and I and any other viewer that's been watching. So it's been more fun to watch with this passing game rather than just constantly handing the ball off and getting a couple yards.
Great facilities that they have there at Noble, and of course had the opportunity to be there for several different games throughout the years, and they always treat everybody very nice, and certainly always welcome the event whenever we get the chance to go down to Noble. Can't say that I've been to Ada in a number of years, but back in the day, we used to go there on road trips several times, games where the Altus Bulldogs would travel and go over to Ada, and even more so against the Ardmore Tigers. But we still got a second half of football left to go here. I think one thing that we'll have to watch is whether or not we see Hayden Sparks return for the Cougars.
That'll be a big storyline here in the second half, as Ada's wide receiver, Hayden Sparks, has really been a spark for the Cougars. He's done a great job for their offense, and he's been a big target for Zach Carroll, or even when Walt LeBeouf was running the QB. He's been a great passing target for him, consistent, able to find him whenever and wherever, and he's done a great job of creating some positive yardage after the fact, after he catches that ball. He takes it down the field, and we saw one that went for, like I mentioned earlier, probably 60, 70 yards, all on just yak yardage.
Both teams in the 3-minute mandatory session where they have to get loose again and get ready and play, trying to avoid injury at every possible chance there. So that's what you're witnessing right now if you don't make it out to many of the football games throughout the course of the season. And we still have a second half to play here at Noble. And the referees are out there, and we're not too far away from getting that underway this evening. As we take a look at that, I'll remind you again of some of the other games that we have scheduled here on YurView throughout the rest of the season. We've already told you about what's coming up next week when Douglas plays at John Marshall. The week after that should be another great matchup. Blanchard at Bethany, and that should be a lot of fun to highlight some of those teams. Had the opportunity to work with both those coaches throughout the years on our TV show that we've had. And then the week after that, we're going to scoot on up to the big town. It'll be a matchup between Union and Mustang, as the Redskins will come down here to take on the Broncos. That'll be a Friday night game on Friday, September 28th, Union at Mustang. And then looking further ahead, we have Stillwater at Choctaw. That'll be a 6A2 contest. And then two other games that we still have scheduled: Tecumseh at Hera. That'll be a Week 7 contest. And then Week 8, it'll be Tuttle at Blanchard. That'll be another look at Blanchard, and also our second look at Tuttle, as we had them last week. And then Week 9 and 10, we've kind of left those open right now, just based on to see what happens on games that have something to do with playoffs. So a very interesting schedule that we have here, and really worked up what I think is a great schedule for the rest of the season. We've already had a very good schedule. I did check earlier this week. If you joined us last week, you saw the Kingfisher quarterback, Jay Sternberger, go down on a vicious hit. Turned out to be a helmet-to-helmet type hit. Coach said it didn't look like he was going to play this week, and whether or not he has made it through concussion protocol since then, I did not have word, but that was probably Wednesday or Tuesday that I checked in with head coach Jeff Myers to see, because we've been involved in a game that we called a couple years ago over at Blanchard, where the young man was partially paralyzed, and I think is still battling that to this day. And boy, you never like to see anything like that happen. And I find myself, as I get older and we become more and more aware of some of these injuries that do take place, and watching some of the guys, the old football players that we remember growing up. Not you, because you're not old enough, Dylan, but I was watching Willie Lanier talking about his days with the Kansas City Chiefs in the late 60s and the early 70s, and he had a hit on the field in a report that was released this week that said that his heart had actually stopped beating 3 times at the game. And, was never really even told that until years and years later. And obviously they've become more medically aware through all of that, and we're trying to avoid a lot of the helmet-to-helmet type hits that have taken place. And, boy, you hate to see anybody go down with injuries like that. I remember years and years ago we used to wait for Monday Night Football when Howard Cosell would have the big hits of the week, when it was just a series of guys just getting massacred on the football field. And when you're a teenager and you're in your 20s and probably even your 30s, and you're thinking, oh my gosh, that was a great hit, I can't believe it, oh, let's see it again. And now when you see something like that happen, you're kind of like, I know what could happen on hits like that, and what it can do and how it can affect some of these players, and especially some of these kids down the road. And you certainly don't like to see stuff like that happen. Yeah, when you see those big hits now, it's kind of like, oh, is he okay? Right. Rather than, oh, that was a nice hit. Now everybody wants to know if that player that got really just walloped is going to be able to get up and be okay and play next week. And I think it's just kind of the world of football that we live in now, is making sure that everybody is healthy and is able to live a happy life after football, because there's always a life after football. Football doesn't keep going until the day you die. I mean, there's going to be a life after football, and we want everybody to be able to experience a normal life after football, and not have any of these concerns where we've seen reports with CTE where obviously some very negative things have come out of it. And if you'd like to know more about that, I encourage you to research it yourself. It's some pretty hefty stuff, and so definitely looking to find some ways to make the game a little bit safer. All right, so we're done with our editorial or investigative reporting for the halftime, and we're ready to go underway. Second half action. Noble kicking it away to the Ada Cougars. Cougars on top, leading at 10-7. The kickoff to start the second half, and a nice return for the Cougars, getting it out across the 35-yard line, finally tripped up, and a nice return there by Kobe Burgess. Don't see any flags, and that's where the Cougars will start at 1st and 10 with a 3-point lead as we begin the second half of play. I kind of feel like if he had gotten past that last tackler, he probably could have cut that upfield and gotten maybe close to the end zone, honestly. Nice return, and now we'll see what adjustments were made at halftime. Kick return all the way out to the 35-yard line. So 1st and 10 for the Cougars. Got the 32-yard field goal on their second to last possession. Now there is a penalty. Was that called while I had my head down and was just, or was that on the end of the kickoff?
I'm not really sure. I was looking over at one of our other screens over here.
Huh.
Here, maybe this screen's a little delayed. Maybe it'll tell me.
So a 10-yard penalty will put the ball right at midfield, and that's where the Cougars will start 1st and 10 as we begin the second half of play. Pass to the near side, underthrown. Didn't seem like he had a good grip on the ball or just slipped out of his hands. Intended there for Kobe Burgess, and the pass is incomplete.
I think it might have been on the kickoff. It was another one of those calls that you and I don't really know what the signal is. It was that arms out wide call.
I'm going to have to get my old officials book back out again. That or call my officials friends that take care of these games and get a refresher course.
Let's get a New Jersey or a New York, whatever they have.
Yeah, let's bring in somebody from the east side. Is that what you're saying?
Just bring somebody in that can, whenever there's a controversial play. Well, what are you seeing here, Steve?
That's right. I got so tired of that watching the NFL last night.
That was a tough game to watch.
It really was. It really was.
And last time they played in the divisional round, it was an ugly game too.
9-yard gain on the pass completion sets up a 3rd down and 1 for the Cougars. Opening possession of the second half. Runs up, takes the snap. Good push forward as they move the scrum, the pile forward and pick up the 1st down.
Good play call there, just shy of that 1st down marker on 3rd and short. Just have the quarterback plow forward to give that offensive line just a chance to just push forward and give the team just a yard or two was just all they needed, and that's what they got.
Opening drive of the second half for the Ada Cougars. Ada has won 19 state championships in football. It's been a while since they won one, but boy, they were winning on a regular basis back in the 90s and the 80s and the 70s, and if you win 19, you're winning pretty often.
Yeah, 19 state titles, and then last year had a chance to make it 20, just fell short, losing Carl Albert.
Heritage
Hall, and then the last time they were in the state final before that was 2000, and that's when they lost to Carl Albert.
Here's a handoff that goes left side. We do have another flag on the play, so we'll sort that out. Kind of a slow start here to this second half. You can see a lot of the crowd on hand gathered in. It's a block below the knees called against the Cougars, and that'll mark them back the other way. This drive started after the penalty right at midfield. They were able to get a 1st down, and then with the penalty there, march it all the way back to the noble 47-yard line. So as a result, they've really gained only 3 yards on this possession. We've played about a minute and a half here in this 3rd quarter. 2nd down and very long. Pass far side, complete. Good open field tackle, stops him in his tracks and still going to lead them with a 3rd down and long situation, because I think that's just the original line of scrimmage marker there on the far side.
Pass complete to Tanner Gilliam, and we haven't heard much of him. As I mentioned earlier, he seems to be somebody that's been quiet tonight, which is a little bit odd if you ask me. I think he was even mentioned in Vipe magazine as one of those players to keep your eyes on for Ada, but he's been definitely kept quiet by the Noble Bears tonight.
Dropping the throw once again. Now taking it down and running with it, and he's going to get 1st down yardage. Nice job there as he improvises on his own. Zach Carroll, the sophomore. No flags in the play, and that'll be good enough for a Cougar 1st down.
And as a sophomore, he's really playing as a veteran. He's been doing a great job throwing the ball tonight. Obviously, there was that one miscue with the one interception, but right there creating some positive yardage with his legs and doing a great job reading the defense, and right there seeing he had some time and some space to take off down the field himself.
From the Noble 26-yard line, Carroll throws near side and incomplete.
Once again, Kobe Burgess just coming up short of catching the football there. Oh, but it's a penalty on the play anyway. Maybe that's why he didn't care to catch it.
So that'll scoot him back and again stop the clock with 9.5 minutes left to go here in the third quarter. So you wouldn't really say it's been a clean quarter till this part. We've seen a lot of penalties going both ways. Not really getting into any type flow here in the second half. This is still the opening possession of the half. Now looking at a first down and 15 for the Cougars. Drops, throws. Defender read that.
I mean, he's got to sell that handoff fake a little bit more, and just seem kind of lazy on that fake handoff. He's got to make sure he goes through it. Running back's got to sell it as well. He's got to take off down the field like he's got the ball, and that pass play may have worked if they had really sold it a little bit more.
So now, Cougars looking to the sideline, looking for the play call. What do you dial up here on what should be a 3rd and 15?
You gotta go through the air. There's no way you can get there running the football against this defense.
They've had success with the slant pattern over the middle. This time they're going up top, going deep. Got a receiver. He's wide open and goes through his hands. Incomplete. Burgess, the intended receiver. Didn't look like the throw was that far off.
No, a great job of getting open as well. I think it's just, we've talked about these catches before. These over-the-shoulder catches are tough to make because you got to locate the ball and get your hands in the right spot without having, sight of your hands. Your hands are out in front of you. You're looking back at the ball. And so it's a tough catch to make. And right there, another tough one as he tries to get into the end zone there.
So that'll bring up 3rd and 15. He was double teamed in the play, and you wonder how he got behind both of the defenders.
Yeah, and maybe one of them was a safety in coverage just sliding over, and then you got to wonder how he got past the corner, though.
Looks like they want to talk about it on the sidelines, and they're going to take a timeout. 9:25 left to go, third quarter. Ada on top of Noble. They lead at 10-7. We'll be back.
It's the Ford Summer Sales Event, and now is the best time to buy.
You ready for this, Junior?
Yeah, I think I can handle it.
No pressure. That's just my favorite boat.
Boom.
Make summer go right with Ford, America's best-selling brand. During the Ford Summer Sales Event, find great offers across a huge lineup of Ford cars, trucks, and SUVs. Now get 0% financing for 60 months plus $3,250 cash back on F-150 at your Oklahoma Ford dealer.
After the timeout, both teams return to the field. Still the opening possession of this third quarter of play. And right now, Ada looking at a 3rd down and 15 situation from the 31-yard line in Noble territory. Quarterback going to take the snap, going to roll to the right, even though he's a left-handed thrower, and he's going to be taken down and dropped in the backfield. A sack on the play.
That's what I thought was a little odd. They rolled him out right with a left-handed thrower. He's going to have to throw with his body going the opposite direction. That would have been a very difficult throw, even if he had been able to find somebody to throw the ball to.
So that'll set up a 4th down situation. It's too far for a field goal, and I guess you can punt it and try to pin them deep, but if it ends up going into the end zone and coming out to the 20-yard line, it's going to be, again, a net punt of about 20 yards.
Well, Zach Carroll's still behind center right now.
I see that.
I don't know if maybe they're going to try to just pick up some yardage and give Noble a little bit of worse field position. Then you got to wonder, if you're playing the field position game, why not just punt it?
Yeah. From the Noble 38-yard line. And it looks like now they're going to take the 5-yard penalty. It wasn't like they were going to draw them off sides and get a first down.
Yeah.
It's 4th and very long. Nonetheless, now they'll exchange and get the special teams players on the field. Still a punting situation.
Yeah, it's now about 4th and 25 or so.
Long way to go. Bears showing as though they might be coming after this. Thompson is the kicker. Stands back, snap is back there in good shape, gets the kick away. Sailing towards the left corner, and this one is going to take a bounce and go inside the 5-yard line.
Punt.
Wow. Yeah, that's 5 yards. They moved it back on the penalty. Otherwise, it goes into the end zone. What a great punt, all the way down to the 3.
That was an awesome punt. They saw that coming, I guess. They knew it was going to happen. And he's been doing a great job kicking the ball all night. That's Tovin Thompson on the punt. He's got 3 points on the board, and then he could have had another 3 if his one blocked, that last one in the first half. So he's been doing a great job kicking the football, I think, and he's definitely been a good bright spot for the Cougars.
Now Noble from their own 3-yard line, their first possession of this second half. Quick pass. And it goes through the hands of the intended receiver on the near side, Austin Fisher. Pass is incomplete. So a 2nd down and 10 coming up for the Bears. Good field level look. Lingle takes the snap. Quick throw. Ooh, nearly intercepted, and that had a pick 6 written all over it. Burgess read that one. Couldn't believe how much better position he was in than the intended receiver.
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously it was a curl route. He saw him stop his momentum and turn. And right there, Lingle had to kind of make a blind throw as Ada was bringing 5 men at him, outside blitz from the linebackers, and so he had to get rid of that ball quickly and just kind of fired that ball without looking, really.
3rd and 10, drops the snap momentarily and then finds the receiver downfield. That's a huge first down. Pass complete out there once again to number 24. That's Henniger. And that was a huge first down.
Yeah, Henniger's had a big game. I mean, he's been doing a great job all night long, just showing up offensively and defensively. And there you see again, like you say, a big first down for the Noble Bears.
Running play to the right side. That's going to get about 3 yards. Hard-fought ball game both ways. I think the biggest lead of the game was when it was 7-0, right?
Yeah, that would have been it. Look at this.
Now we've got some cramps, it looks like, for one of the Ada players. Quickly back up on his feet, but he'll have to leave the game. That's number 50 for the Cougars, Brooks Davis.
I'm just wondering what you need a trainer for. Tegan Rogers had it covered.
Help him off the field. Gain of 3 on the play. 2nd down and 7 coming up for the Bears. Noble trailing by 3 on their home turf. Hayden Lingle, the quarterback, takes the snap, looks left side, steps up in the pocket, now throws near side, downfield, had it, and then broken up. A great defensive play there by number 32, Joseph Fiesel. If he doesn't lay the hit on him, that's a complete pass.
Yeah, that was a great hit. And Fiesel's a smaller defensive back, smaller linebacker. Just 5'7", 155, but right there laying the wood down. A great hit on number 10 there. That's Austin Fisher, and a great throw also by Lingle to put that in a good spot. And if Fisher holds on to that, that's a good throw, a good gain for the Noble Bears.
Pass goes incomplete. Noble will try it once again. From their own 20-yard line as Hayden Lingle looks to the near sidelines. And before he can get the snap off, might have been delay of game. Looks as though it's going to be against Noble either way as the Bears start to retreat.
after that great first down to Henniger, and he got past just about the 20-yard line. They now retreat back behind it, and we'll have to kind of set up shop from behind the 18.
It's hard to imagine that there's been a lot of big plays in a 10-7 game, but we have seen a lot of big plays coming out of situations just like this. Empty backfield. Lingle steps up, lost the football.
I think an offensive lineman fell on it. I think it should be Noble ball.
Cougars come out of the pile with the ball, but I think you're right.
Oh,
and
wow.
no, they're going to give it to Ada. A huge fumble recovery. I think it was number 59 coming out of the pile there, Tegan Rogers. Let's see if we can pick it up on the replay here as he is stripped before he goes down. There's the ball bouncing loose.
Yeah, he was definitely on it first. 59 must have just ripped it from him.
Yeah, that might. Good job by Rogers to get in there and fight for it, because it didn't look like he really even had a chance at coming away with the football, and he must have taken it away on the ground. So great field position for the Cougars once again, just outside the 17-yard line in Noble territory. Big turn of events right here. On the Noble 17, handoff up the middle. That's going to be good for several yards inside the 15-yard line. Give him 3 on the carry. That'll bring up 2nd down and 7. Running play left side. Looked like there was nothing there, but somehow able to fight his way forward and pick up some yardage is Trevor Showers, I believe, on the, 28 for Ada. That's Matt Malloy.
Yeah, it looked like he kind of ran into his left tackle. His left tackle was making a good block, and when he ran into that left tackle, kind of took his momentum into him, knocked him down, and that knocked down the linebacker that was around that edge there, and so it was kind of like a domino type of thing where it just knocked down 3 guys, and he was able to stay up on his feet at least and picked up a couple more yards.
3rd down and 5. Cougars take the snap, throw it near side, complete, and into the end zone for the touchdown. Nice move there by Jake Shannon, number 10. First time we've called his name all night long, Dylan, and he comes up, makes the nice catch, and then the move afterwards to get away from the defender and into the end zone.
Well, we've seen many wide receivers get involved tonight, and this is, as you said, his first touch of the night, the first time we've said his name, but we've also seen a lot of other players get involved, and right there was his shot, and with just a few yards outside the end zone, that curl route, able to catch it. The cornerback comes in aggressive on the ball, and he just missed it and was able to find pay dirt.
So the touchdown pass by Carroll, extra point attempt on his Thompson. He knocks it through the uprights. And now, all of a sudden, Ada has built themselves a 10-point lead. They lead it 17-7 with 6:05 left to go here in the 3rd quarter on your Oklahoma Ford Dealers Game of the Week.
You may have heard of Tulsa Tech, but did you know we offer business and industry training for large and small companies? Come get trained and certified in areas like confined space, HAZWOPER, crane rigging, CPR, first responder, and more. To learn more about our affordable and customized training and how Tulsa Tech can be a valuable resource to your company, call 918-828-5000 or visit us online at tulsatech.edu.
Well, the Ada Cougars got the turnover and immediately turned it into 7 points. First, it was the fumble recovery that was fought for and taken away by Tegan Rogers. And then the quarterback, Zach Carroll, hooking up with junior receiver Jake Shannon, who takes it in for the touchdown. And with 6:05 left to go in the 3rd quarter, the Cougars have built themselves a 10-point lead, now leading at 17-7. So the Bears haven't really done much offensively. And now they're going to have to rally back as they trail it by 10. Kick goes out of bounds. And to be perfectly honest, they have not had the ball very much here in this second half. The Cougars got it to start the second half. Had to punt. Noble ran a couple plays and then fumbled it. Rogers got the takeaway and Shannon got the touchdown. 17-7 our score.
Yeah, and Lingle's done a good job of staying poised in the pocket, and on that last time he just kind of was scrambling out and was holding the ball as if he was getting ready to throw the ball. And you know when you're doing that, you're just holding it with one hand, and kind of from behind was hit and jarred the ball loose.
Lingle barks the signals. Here's the handoff to Yeager. And the Cougars swarm and drop him seemingly behind the line of scrimmage.
We've seen great performances from both sides on the defensive end. Ada's done a good job of keeping Noble off the board. Last week put up 42 against Newcastle. Today only 7 as we're nearly done with the third quarter here. And so Ada's done a good job defensively. And we've seen Noble do pretty well, actually. It just seems like the last couple times they've shot themselves in the foot as they've given Ada some good field position.
You can tell Cougars are playing with a lot of emotion right now as there's not just one guy, 2 guys in on the tackle. There are several. Pass there is complete. But right away he was met by a gang of Cougars. What do you call a group of Cougars? I don't. Is it a den? Is it a? It's not a litter. I don't know what you would call it.
Good question. A pack.
Pack of Cougars. Pass to the near side. That's Will Hoyt. Makes a nice spin move. He's got first down yardage out near midfield.
Good job pressing B on the Xbox controller there. So he spins out of that one, able to create a couple more yards. And we've seen Will Hoyt be a key cog to this Nobles offense.
Bears trying to step it up, flushed out of the pocket. Now giving chase are the Cougars. Pass to the near side. That's complete for a first down. Inside the 40-yard line in Ada territory as the clock goes down to 4:49 left to go here in the third quarter. Still plenty of time, but you can tell that Noble's feeling a little urgency now, trailing by 10.
Let me ask you, is Lingle a left-handed quarterback?
I don't think so.
Okay. I thought he was, because for a second I was about to say he threw that right-handed, and I was going to kind of lose my mind a little bit, but no, okay.
Sets up, throws this one deep downfield, then wide open. I mean, wide open is Will Hoyt for the easy touchdown.
Well, that's about the 4th time he's snuck behind the defensive backs, and that time able to find the end zone once again. His 2nd touchdown of the game, 3rd on the season. We've seen Will Hoyt just tear up this defensive secondary for the Ada Cougars.
Great throw by Hayden Lingle. I don't know how you get that wide open. Somebody missed an assignment somewhere.
And as I mentioned, that's about the 4th time we've seen him really just blow past the secondary.
Snap back, ball is down, the kick is on the way, and the Bears waste no time in getting that touchdown right back. They still trail by 3, 17-14 our score. Ada on top of Noble. Late here in the third quarter on your Oklahoma Ford Dealers Game of the Week. We'll take a timeout and be back with the kickoff.
Weoki's new money certificate rates are incredible. Transfer money from another institution to a Weoki 35-month certificate and receive 3.05 APY. Yes, that's over 3%. And get a $100 cash bonus for new CD amounts of $100,000 and greater. Open your certificate with new money at Weoki and start earning incredible rates. Federally insured, rate and bonus are for new money only. Other terms and limitations apply. Contact Weoki for details.
Well, the Bears answer right back as they get the long touchdown pass From Lingle to Wilhoit. And even though neither team was having a lot of ease getting points on the scoreboard, both teams answer with punches right there. Ada to go up 17-7, and Noble said don't run too far away, and they score almost immediately. And now it's a 3-point ball game again, with Noble getting set to kick it away to the Cougars with 4:41 left to go, third quarter.
And it'll come up to the Noble Bears defense to see if they can slow down Ada's offense, as Ada's been fairly successful in moving the ball on the Bears. And we'll see if they can slow them down.
Trouble picking it up, and then he breaks away from would-be tacklers, makes another guy miss, and somehow is able to get it all the way out near the 40-yard line. What a return there by number 32. Once again, Joseph Fiesel. You said not a big guy, 5'7", 155 is what he's listed as, but boy, he's got some moves.
Yeah, and I don't know how he turned that into positive yardage. It looked like he was just going to lose it and get smacked at about the 20-yard line. Somehow brings it all the way out to nearly the 40.
So 1st and 10 for the Cougars from their own 38-yard line. Got ourselves another good football game here on YurView. Game time tonight, and we've got a good one.
Much better than last week's. Last week was rough to watch.
Yeah.
Tons and tons of penalties.
Yeah, I forgot to look that up and see how many there were, because there were a bunch. Here's a quick pass. That pass is complete to Burgess. Burgess has some open field. He turns the corner on Wilhoit. There goes Burgess. Burgess. Will they catch him? They will not. Burgess is going to take it all the way for the touchdown. And after we went almost 3 quarters with just 2 touchdowns, we've had 3 in about the last 2 minutes.
Yeah, he's got some wheels on him. Burgess, you could see after he caught the ball, just turned it upfield, turned on the Jets, was able to turn the corner on Wilhoit, so 3 turns right there. And he turns the corner on Wilhoit and is just green grass in front of him, is able to find the end zone.
And they are just scoring at will. Noble scored the touchdown at 6:05. Then for Ada, then Noble scored, and now with 4:21, so in the span of less than 2 minutes, we've had 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, and it's odd because that whole first quarter was scoreless. It was 0-0 at the end of the first quarter.
So Burgess takes it back all the way on a quick pass, and just like that, Ada's back on top by 10. Not much time off the clock. 4:20 left to play, third quarter. We'll be back.
It's the Ford Summer Sales Event, and now is the best time to buy.
You ready for this, Junior?
Yeah, I think I can handle it.
No pressure. That's just my favorite boat.
Boom.
Make summer go right with Ford, America's best-selling brand. During the Ford Summer Sales Event, find great offers across a huge lineup of Ford cars, trucks, and SUVs. Now get 0% financing for 60 months plus $3,250 cash back on F-150 at your Oklahoma Ford dealer.
Well, what was a defensive struggle with not a whole lot of offensive firepower, as suddenly the tables have turned, as we've had 3 touchdowns in less than 2 minutes of game time. And Ada now leading Noble, back up by 10 by a score of 24-14. Still 4:20 left to go here in the third quarter.
It was like watching the OU game from last week, where it was just like touchdown after touchdown after touchdown. You're like, can we get a couple minutes of actually some football where, you know, the defense makes a hit every now and then?
So that begs the question, what will we see the rest of this contest here? Both teams seem to have settled in offensively. Turnovers have definitely been a key in the football game as Ada kicks it away, taking it about the 21-yard line. Starts up the far side of the field and then runs near side, is taken down, gets it out to about the 24-yard line. Return there by Austin Fisher, and here come the Bears, who felt like they got right back in the game, but no sooner do they think that, and Ada is able to hook up for the long touchdown. We've seen 2 number 1s tonight, Wilhoit for Noble and Burgess for Ada. They put on quite a show.
Yeah, Will Hoyt, as I mentioned, he's got 2 touchdowns. His third on the year came on the last one. He's been doing a great job, and we'll see him on offense once again. He's been blowing past these defensive backs, the secondary, and Lingle's done a great job finding him open out there deep.
Trying to set up the screen pass here. They do, but Ada does a nice job reading it. It's a short gain on the play as the pass is caught there by number 19, Gavin Yeager, out of the backfield.
We've heard his name a lot. We'd mentioned early on in the game, Gavin Yeager and Brandon Cartwright, week 1, seemed to split carries quite a bit, and I think maybe it was just to decide who was going to be that number 1 running back, and now you see Gavin Yeager getting the start, and he's been getting the majority of the play calls.
Well, when you run a screen play, sometimes somebody takes off a little too early from the line of scrimmage, and they're called now for the ineligible receiver downfield, so that will erase the short gain that they had, and they'll mark it off after a penalty called against the Bears. You can see the clock in the background as we go into the 4-minute mark. Blitz is called and is met. Ball pops loose. That was quite a play right there.
That was really interesting. You don't see that almost ever. I don't know if I've ever seen that.
That ball popped up in the air, and as soon as the quarterback, Lingle, was able to gather it back in to keep possession, he got spilled. So the Bears really, in some ways, fortunate to still have the football. Give the Cougars a lot of credit. They have played very, very tough tonight. On the road, 0-1 on the season. Playing the higher-ranked Bears on the road right now. Ada leading it by 10.
But keep in mind, Ada is 6-0 against Noble, and a great catch there. Wow.
It's Will Hoyt again on the reception. May have winded himself if he wasn't hit on the play as you take a look.
I think probably just in diving. Maybe got the wind knocked out of him. You said winded himself. I think that's a good way of putting it.
Came down hard on the play, finally makes his way to his feet. And he'll go to the sidelines. Has to take this play off. Boy, he's been a dangerous threat all night long. He and Lingle are quite a pair.
Well, and imagine if he isn't able to come back into the game for a few plays. We haven't really seen any of the other wide receivers on the Ada side of the ball. We've seen multiple names come into the conversation, say, maybe he could throw it to Gilliam or he could throw it to Burgess. And for Noble, it's really just been Will Hoyt.
Quick pass, that's almost a backwards pass. And I wouldn't be surprised if they marked the line of scrimmage. Yeah, the referee's walking back there. That's just like a lateral. That's going to be a big loss on the play of about 7 yards. So, not just an incomplete pass, but an incomplete backwards pass, which in essence is a lateral, so a big loss on the play. So the Bears marching backwards right now, trying to get the ship righted. Handoff up the middle. It's Yeager. He's
ball's loose.
Oh, ball's out. And there is Ada once again. Picked up by Burgess, who's had a big game.
Whoa.
And now a little extracurricular as frustration spill over. And we'll see what the end result of all that is. Should be Ada football. As Noble turns it over yet again. Let's take a look at that replay. Ball is out right there. Burgess picks it up, tries to get a return on. He is spilled, dumped by Henniger, who actually picks him up, then grabs him by his feet and then continues the tackle, probably excessively.
Yeah, and then obviously the Ada teammates came in and let him know that that wasn't going to be tolerated, and then it just kind of went back and forth from there. We'll see what the refs decide.
So probably a frustration penalty, if nothing else, as Noble turned the football over for one and then a little too aggressive after the tackle.
Well, that's now, what, the third or fourth turnover?
Yeah,
for
at least.
Noble.
At least 3.
I know of 3 off the top of my head. There was the Lingle fumble, that fumble, and then the interception. I don't know if there was another one or not. think that's it.
So there's a look from the field level camera as they kind of work through this and decide what is going to be the call. The referee and all of his officials out there together. Here comes the call. It's going to be somebody's been kicked out for Noble, and it looks to be personal fouls, I believe, against both teams, but then one of the Noble players, I think, has been booted.
And that would have been Brian Henniger, I'd imagine. That was 24.
That would be my guess as well.
He was the one in there on the hit and the one with a little bit of an excessive hit. So I'd imagine if anybody was tossed, it was probably him.
So here's the play again as the ball comes loose. Now watch 24 in the Vegas gold jersey. He's going to make the tackle, but then continues to hold his legs. And then you can see the hit by one of the Ada players. When we went to that replay, it looked as though they were marking off yardage against Ada, however. Trying to sort through this whole thing. Let's see where it's going to spot the football. Yeah, and now the Noble coach is asking for further explanation. That would be Greg George.
This has been a fun game to watch, I'll tell you that much. Much more fun than last week. I'm having a blast calling this game.
And we still got a ways to go, too. Still 2:53 left to go here in this third quarter. The line of scrimmage right now, as it stands, is at the 39-yard line. You can see Coach George with a lot of expression with palms skyward asking, what's the call here? Why'd you call this? And we're right back into the action. Ada with the football and now a 10-point lead. And a quick pass to the near side is complete, hooking up with Shannon, who gets his second reception of the night. The other was the touchdown earlier, and yet we've got another flag on the play.
Yeah, quick pass to Shannon, quick hit from Nathan Hill. A great job by the defense as well, reacting to that quickly and getting on the ball.
So a chop block below the knee, second time that's been called against Ada. And usually that's when you're an offensive lineman and you're probably outmatched on the evening, want to take whatever advantage that you possibly can. As we said, this is 5A football. It's not the largest class, but we got some big old boys out there. Different formation for Ada. Handoff in the backfield. That's going nowhere. And now Noble trying to make a defensive stand here and get the ball back and try to cut into that 10-point lead.
Well, and I think they've gotten some help from the Ada offense and the fact that Ada moved themselves backwards quite a bit. It has made it tough for themselves to get a first down here.
The quarterback is Zach Carroll. He took over for Walt LeBeau. Probably second quarter.
Yeah, so it was early on in the game.
He's done well. Let's see what he dials up here. Running play, no. Going to keep it himself, and he's in trouble. Avoids one tackle, but not a second, and then pays the price as he spun around. And coming in there and making the big hit, number 54, Lucas McGinnis. And again, another loss on the play, so Ada going backwards.
It was actually 64.
Was it 64?
Yep. Jonathan Velez.
So give credit where credit is due. Mr. Velez in there with the big hit.
I was wrong, too. That was on the Ada roster. Brody Sturgis, that's who it was.
Okay.
We'll get his name right eventually. It looks like he's probably the tallest kid on their roster, 6'4".
Oh, and a loose football. Lost the exchange. And another loss of a yard or two on the play. So Ada really going backwards. One of the big guys for Noble having a rough time getting back up. Number 78 there, that's Clay Warchow. And now a punting situation in a dangerous area for the Cougars, as the punter is going to have to be just about on the goal line. Thompson steps back to about his 2. And you can bet that Noble's going to send the house on this one. They're heavily loaded to this near side. Coming after it. Getting the kick away. May have been partially blocked. Takes a great roll once again. All the way out past the 45-yard line to about the 46 in Ada territory, and that's where Bears will set it up with 15 seconds left to go here in this third quarter.
Yeah, even with a man within just a couple of feet of him, he was able to get off a decent punt, actually. So, great job by the punter there. That was number 19 once again, Tovin Thompson. And he's been doing well.
I want to say that probably rolled further than it traveled in the air.
Yeah, it's definitely possible.
So good field position for the Bears. Could be the final play of this third quarter. Noble trailing it by 10, 24-14. Low snap again. Able to gather it in, keep it, fight forward for about a 2-yard gain. No reason for either team to stop the clock. And the third quarter will come to an end. We've got 12 minutes of football left. Ada on top of Noble. They lead at 24-14 on your Oklahoma Ford Dealers Game of the Week.
It's the final days of the Ford Summer Sales Event. There are only a few days left to take advantage of great deals like 0% financing for 60 months on the built Ford Tough F-150. So hurry and save big on Ford, America's best-selling brand.
During the final days, get 0 for 60 plus $32.50 cash back on F-150. Hurry, offer ends September 4th at your Oklahoma Ford dealer.
Welcome back, everybody, as we get ready for fourth quarter play. Ada on top of Noble, 24-14. You got some scores for us?
Yeah, I've got two that I kind of popped out to me. One of them is Jinx beats Union 27-10. So Union now has 2 losses on the record already. So that one's kind of interesting from the east side. And then over here, Carl Albert and Dell City deadlocked to 25. They're in overtime.
Good ball game. Dell City is certainly headed in the right direction after several down years, and Carl Albert, of course, the 2-time defending champion in 5A. Here's a pass play for Noble, and the pass is incomplete. Looks like he was looking for Mr. Wilhoit again, but apparently out of bounds, incomplete on the play.
At this point, I'm also going to assume that Sparks is out for the whole game.
Yeah, we've not seen him since he went down earlier.
Yeah, it was pretty obvious that he was in some pain. He wasn't able to get up on his own.
And you wish the best for the young man, as we were talking right there towards the end of halftime with some of the injuries that take place. 2nd down and 10 for the Bears, trying to draw Ada off sides. Handoff to Yeager. Somebody lost their helmet. Number 71 for Noble. That would be, well, I don't have a 71.
Yeah, I don't either.
Of all the numbers. He'll have to sit a play out as long as the opposition doesn't rip your helmet off. If it just comes off during the course of play, you then have to sit the next play out. That's what happens here. And now a 3rd down situation for the Bears. Somebody flinched on that left side, and they caught it. Looked like the left tackle probably flinched, and that's going to be 5 yards marked off against Noble. Stops the clock, 11:18 left to go here. It's getting late, obviously, if we're to the fourth quarter, but it's not getting desperate just yet. But now you got to start putting your plays together. Trips to the top of your screen, computer, handheld device, whatever, and another lost football on the snap.
That's twice we've seen that. I'm speechless. I don't know how that happens. I mean, all you got to do is snap that ball between your legs.
Again, I'm at a loss myself. Wait and see if we have a replay on that or not. But just not able to get it off. And that's another turnover. That's a huge turnover for Noble, and Ada will get the ball in pretty good field position at their own 42-yard line. Any score here now any touchdown would make it a 3-possession football game.
Yeah, and I think that would definitely make it tough to come back from. Not impossible, but it would definitely be tough for Noble to put up that many scores in just probably about 10 minutes of play.
Handoff straight up the middle. Going to pick up 2, perhaps 3 yards on the carry. And now you can tell the Cougars, they just want to make sure the clock continues to run. So we're just underway in the fourth quarter of play. 10-7 halftime lead for Ada, and then both teams went back and forth with 3 touchdowns in the span of under 2 minutes of game time play to put us where we are right now at 24-14. Coming up to the line of scrimmage, Zach Carroll. Pass to the far side, and he is hit, almost waiting for that pass to be thrown. Dropped in his tracks. The receiver on the far side that time, number 9, Jordan Willis. That's the first time we called his name. As you take a look, that DB at the top left of your screen, he's waiting for it.
Yeah, Nathan Hill comes in and just lays the lumber down. Big hit.
Forward progress actually gives him a yard. Line of scrimmage is going to be at the 42-yard line. Clock continues to run. Cougars looking to extend this drive, stepping up in the pocket and getting dropped on the play. Big sack coming up for the Bears. Number 19 is Yeager. This time getting it done on the defensive side of the football.
There comes the punting unit for the Ada Cougars. So this gives Noble a chance to really get back into this game. If they can put some points on the board on this offensive possession, maybe not get a turnover. They've had so many.
Right.
You know, if they can hold on to the ball and get something here, then we're definitely talking about a very close game here at the end.
Drops the snap and then kicks the ball while it's on the ground. I don't know that I've ever seen that before at any level, but what else are you going to do?
Oh, Man, this has been a wild game.
I mean,
I'm telling you.
Perfectly legal, I suppose, but I've never, ever seen that before. Trouble with it, and he says, okay, I'm just going to kick it away. I mean, give him A+ for effort and quick thinking, because there was no way he was going to be able to try and pick that up again. That's like a set piece in soccer. I mean, he got a free kick, only it wasn't so free.
That's funny. I've never seen that.
Never. All right, so in a game that's had a little bit of everything, now the Bears take over at the Cougar 36-yard line, 1st and 10. Rolling to his right, Lingle steps up, throws downfield, and it's caught by Will Hoyt inside the 10.
That Will Hoyt connection with Lingle is just deadly, and we've just all game long seen Will Hoyt pick apart the Ada Cougars secondary, and there you see again just finding him down the field. And that time maybe he just threw the ball at him and just said, you know what, you get it.
Why not, right?
Like, I don't know if he had anything he could do, so he just said, you know what, just find Will Hoyt, chuck it to him, see if he can get it.
See how many defenders are around him. Really 3 in the area, but just 1 with any close proximity.
Oh, we had a touchdown right there during the replay.
So the Bears this time answer right back in what essentially was a turnover against Ada. And this is, you were talking about it being a wild game earlier. It certainly has climbed into a new stratosphere here of late. Now the all-important extra point to make it a field goal 3-point ball game. 24-20 as it stands right now. extra point on the way for the Bears. Here comes the rush from the outside. Kick is on the way, and it is good. We've got 8:32 to play in one of the craziest games I've ever seen. 24-21, Cougars on top of the Bears. We'll take a timeout and be back.
It's the final days of the Ford Summer Sales Event. There are only a few days left to take advantage of great deals like 0% financing for 60 months on the built Ford Tough F-150. So hurry and save big on Ford, America's best-selling brand.
During the final days, get 0 for 60 plus $32.50 cash back on F-150. Hurry, offer ends September 4th at your Oklahoma Ford dealer.
Well, if you're just joining in, you've missed it. We have had a very interesting game, to say the least. I'll let you put it into words, Dylan.
You know what? I'm not going to say they've missed it yet, considering we still have 8.5
That's
minutes.
right.
There's definitely more interesting football to be played. I mean, we've had some weird scenarios. Obviously, we've had a lot of turnovers. Those are pretty normal. But, I mean, we've had turnovers to the point where it's like the center is snapping the ball and it doesn't even reach the quarterback, and somehow it's like on the ground. Turnover. And then just a minute ago, punter gets the snap, loses the snap, and wasn't going to have enough time to pick that ball up and punt it again. So he just kicked it off the ground like it was a soccer ball. And, I mean, I guess, like you said, it's legal. So, I mean, I guess if you want to do that, if that's your escape route, your escape plan.
Maybe he was actually trying to drop kick it like they used to do in the old times, like before me, like in the 40s. When you dropped it, and right as it hit the ground, you kicked it in almost the same motion. That was crazy. Well, Noble Bears, they're all fired up after some interesting plays, and the turnovers are too numerous to count. And a lot of it has been just on the, as you said, the snapping of the football, trying to get it back to the quarterback. So let's see what happens here. The stars of the game both wear number 1 for both teams. Kobe Burgess for Ada and Mr. Wilhoit for Noble, who's had a big game. And Ada's just going to air it out and try to go deep again, and he's wide open. Are you kidding me? Burgess all alone. 2 guys are back there, defenders, but somehow he's able to get behind the defenders again and catch, an 80-yard touchdown on the play. Unbelievable.
That one's insane. I mean, that one looks like he just chucked the ball deep. I don't know how Burgess was able to beat him again.
I did see a flag back at about the 20.
And I don't mean to correct you, but I mean, it was a 90-yard play, because I mean, they even had that bad field position. I was getting ready to say something about it. It was within the 10 yards.
There was a flag out, and I don't know if it was a celebration after he crossed the goal line of some sort, because he has to have 200 yards receiving. Here comes the referee to let us know exactly what happened there at the end. It's going to be a penalty against the kicking team, but they are going to allow the touchdown.
Man.
So I don't know if our replay, we can maybe watch it again to see after he crosses the goal line and gets in. I've seen that happen a couple times already this year. So they're going to mark this off. Well, sometimes they mark it off on the ensuing kickoff, and then sometimes they mark it off on the extra point. I've seen both this year. And it's going to be an extra point as the Cougars. That's an answer back right there.
Yeah.
First play from scrimmage.
And you said right when we entered from the break, you said, well, if you're just joining us, you missed it. You were wrong, because, I mean, the very first play, just chuck it deep, touchdown.
You were exactly right. Well, I ain't going to say anything now because there's 8:19 left, and we could have 6 more touchdowns. It was 10-7 at halftime. In what was kind of a boring offensive-type football game that is anything but now. Cougars back up by 10. Bears to get the kickoff when we come back.
Weoki's new money certificate rates are incredible. Transfer money from another institution to a Wyoke 35-month certificate and receive 3.05 APY. Yes, that's over 3%. And get a $100 cash bonus for new CD amounts of $100,000 and greater. Open your certificate with new money at Wyoke and start earning incredible rates. Federally insured, rate and bonus are for new money only. Other terms and limitations apply. Contact Wyoke for details.
Welcome back to a football game that's had a little bit of everything tonight. Turnovers, we got plenty of those. Crazy turnovers, yeah, we've seen that. We've seen drop kicks on punts, set pieces off of punt play. I don't know. It just what a ball game here. Glad we were able to bring it to you. Otherwise, you would get the paper tomorrow and you would say, "Oh, it looks like they had an interesting game," and you just kind of nod your head and say, "Yeah, that's probably pretty good." It has been that and so much more.
Yeah, and right off the bat of this, after the last break, come out, long 90-yard touchdown play for the Ada Cougars. And then I'm thinking, if, as Coach Dillon, as you said earlier, Coach Rivera,
right.
Here's what I'm thinking is for Noble's offense is you just tell Will Hoyt, run a fly route. Because that's all that these two teams have been able to beat them on. I mean, Will Hoyt just take off down the field. He's beat the defensive backs a good 4 or 5 times tonight. And now we've seen Burgess beat Noble's defensive backs a good 2, 3, maybe 4 times tonight. At this point, just keep running fly routes. You're going to keep scoring.
It's schoolyard football. As far as the passing has gone with the two receivers, Burgess and Will Hoyt. 31-21. They did mark that penalty after the touchdown was scored on the kickoff, so they kicked it off from the 25. The ball now is in Ada territory at about the 47. Running play, right side, straight ahead is Yeager. And he gets a good push, and he's a strong, tough runner. He's kind of a straight up and down guy. Doesn't really try to confuse you with any brilliant moves or anything. He just soon run you over. And he's been doing a good job of that tonight as the Bears try to battle back as we go under 8 minutes left to play. It's Yeager again off the right side, getting inside the 35, down at about the 33-yard line.
Yeah, and he's done a great job tonight. We saw a good running performance from him last time out. He had 6 carries for 59 yards, about 9.8 yards per carry, which is astronomical. Obviously only 6 carries, but those are great numbers. And then you've seen tonight, anytime they hand him the ball, he gets a good maybe 3-4 yards at least. And so he's doing a great job tonight.
Here's a pass play that's intercepted, taken away by the Cougars, intercepted on the play by number 4, Gilliam. And Gilliam setting up a long return. He breaks away. Only one guy can get him, but he's not going to be able to catch him. He's going to get into the end zone and return it for the touchdown for the Cougars.
I'm going to blame the ref on that play. I don't know if you saw the wide receiver running his route, and the ref gets in the way. Kind of reminiscent of this past Saturday at the OU game. I mentioned it earlier on, something about the OU game. Now I'm going to mention another thing. When the ref tackled the wide receiver, it's almost the same thing here. He's running his route, and he just ran into a brick wall of a referee, and now we got an interception and a pick 6, and a great job by Gilliam to take that all the way back to the house. And now we see Ada building up their lead to possibly 38-21 with the PAT.
What a ball game. And I couldn't tell, was the pass tipped at one point?
I don't know. I didn't see that.
Because it looked like it was behind the intended receiver. Mm-hmm. And I didn't know if it got tipped even just a little bit at the line of scrimmage or not. Maybe we can take a look after the extra point and after the commercial timeout. But this game has just gone from crazy to crazier, as now Ada, who had 10 points at halftime, now has 38, and we still got 7 minutes left to go. They lead Noble by 17, 38-21. It's game time on YurView, brought to you by your Oklahoma Ford dealers.
Tulsa Tech has really helped me build my future. Woodworking is my passion. I've always wanted to be a carpenter. The carpentry program is a great program to get into. The teacher is fantastic. He teaches us about quality, and no matter what you do, you need to have pride and integrity in your work. The facilities here are state of the art. All the tools here are the best of the best. This class has been a great opportunity for me. It's one of my favorite classes ever. We've so much fun, the best 3 hours of my day. Tulsa Tech has really helped me make my own path in so many ways.
7:13 left to go in the fourth quarter. If you left us at halftime and maybe you and the family went out to dinner and came back expecting it to be 21-20 or something like that, as Dylan was just saying during the timeout, if you want us to build a highlight package for you, just watch the whole game. It has been crazy with all the crazy plays that I've never seen before in some 50-plus years watching football. And we've seen a little bit of everything here tonight. And, folks, we still got 7 minutes left to play. And Noble on the kick return, falling forward, getting it out to about the 35-yard line. And you would think, well, they're down by 17. Surely they don't have much of a chance. But we from what we've seen tonight, I wouldn't count anything out until there was like 30 seconds left.
Yeah, it's been back and forth for this fourth quarter for sure. At 8:25, we took a break, and I want to say Ada was up. They may have just scored 31 at that point. It might have been no. I'm not really sure, but all I know is it's been 2 touchdowns scored since then. I'm losing track. There's been so many scored. It was 10-7 at halftime. Look at the score now. It's insane.
Handoff straight up the middle. It's Yeager again. Yeager's going to get about 9 yards on the carry straight ahead. Yeager's had a good game tonight. Dylan has mentioned several times. Really, if you looked at halftime stats, nobody probably stood out as very impressive. But since then, we've got all kinds of great plays. And here's another one. Almost broke 3 tackles, finally brought down there. Good job by Gilliam, the young man who just returned the interception for a long touchdown for the Cougars to give them that 17-point lead.
Well, I disagree in one capacity, and I think that's just because Will Hoyt from the very first kickoff has been tearing this game up.
Yep.
And he's just been splitting that secondary wide open and finding holes in the secondary and getting open. And it's just been a great game for him. 3 touchdowns on the day. Oh, he's still on his feet.
How did he get away from that? I thought for sure he was down. He's able to get away, escape, and get the first down. There was 3 or 4 guys around him. Looked like he was ready to go down. I was ready to call the play done, and then all of a sudden he spins out and he's got the football, and then he's got the first down.
That's crazy. Add that to the list.
During the next time out, run outside and see if there's a full moon, will you? All right, so inside the 40-yard line, and then the problem that they have with snapping the football. Ada comes up saying that they have it, and apparently they do. What a rough night for the center.
Yeah, he's visibly frustrated with himself.
And I don't know if do you pull the center usually? I don't think so.
No, it's not something you usually do, and center's believe it or not, it's a very tough position because not only are the quarterbacks looking at what the defense is up to, the center is. The center calls out a lot of different things. As you see a lot of times before a play, he kind of just crouches and points, and he's shouting stuff the entire time, saying what's going on with the defense, and he's an extra set of eyes that the quarterback doesn't have. And so kind of replacing that center can be tough.
All right, so the Cougars take over again now. Probably just wanting to work as much clock as they possibly can, leading it by 17 as we go under 6 minutes to play.
A little frustrated, maybe he makes up for it on the defensive end. Is right there, he makes the tackle. That's big number 68 for Noble, Hunter Largent.
As we said, next week Noble will be hosting Piedmont. Ada will be hosting the Duncan Demons. And the Cougars right now in no hurry to get a play off. But I'm sure they don't want to stop the clock either, so they better hustle along here quickly. Carroll barking the signals. Takes the snap. Gives to the up back on the carry. Number 28 is Malloy. And the clock will continue to run as the Cougars would love to get what would have to be considered an upset on the road. Ada came in preseason ranked number 6, even though they lost their opening game against Ardmore. Ardmore always one of the toughest teams in Class 5A. This Noble squad was 10-4 last year. Had 6 guys returning on offense, 7 returning on defense. They had a brief lead in this contest, but Ada has taken over since then with a number of big plays, and here's another one to give them another set of downs. On the run is LeBeau. That's a big first down right there, Dylan.
Yeah, and one thing that's really stuck out to me is the fact that Ada only scored 7 last week. And you talk about Ardmore being a tough opponent, and I agree with that statement, but at the same time, I'm thinking to myself, how do you go from 7 one week to 38 the next? There's obviously been a massive improvement in their offense in just 1 week. So you talk about getting into mid-season form. It happened in just maybe 1 week for them.
Cougars now taking as much time as they possibly can in between plays. Get the snap off, running play left side, trying to keep himself in bounds. And they're going to keep the clock running, apparently.
Yeah, he kind of bobbled the handoff there and then lowered the boom on Will Hoyt, put the shoulder down. And I mentioned this before when we're calling these games, is the lower man wins. The lower you get, the better you're off. Of course, that's usually better whenever you're coming in with momentum, both of you, because otherwise...
Well, and that describes the whole helmet-to-helmet problem, is because if you're a tackler, you want to get lower center of gravity. If you're running the football, you want lower center of gravity. So you're both lowering your head, and a lot of times what they perceive as being helmet-to-helmet targeting is really just both guys trying to get the lower center of gravity. 3:20 left to play. Handoff again up the middle. LeBeau getting into the secondary inside the 20-yard line. Gets the first down. That'll stop the clock for just a bit till they reset the chains.
LeBeau's doing a great job running the football. I'm wondering why they didn't hand him the ball off a lot more earlier on in the game.
Coach said there was an opportunity, a possibility that we might see even 3 different quarterbacks. But Carroll has certainly done a very fine job as he has stepped in since probably either late in the first quarter or early second quarter.
A lot of the running has been on Matt Malloy tonight. There's a new runner. Big 45. Conor Gallagher. 5'10", 190.
And he'll get a good push forward, get it inside the 15-yard line.
That 190 is not a vertical 190. That's a broad 190.
Yes, it is. So the Bears now have to be frustrated. You can see by some of the body language out there. 38-21 is our score. Cougars with the football, milking the clock as we go under 2 minutes to play. Running play once again to Gallagher again. And he just wrapping both arms around the football and hanging on.
That's called a fullback right there.
There you go.
Let the big boy get some carries.
Well, a good performance for the Cougars tonight in a big road win. It's not a district ball game, but they'll try to continue their success as they get to play at home next week when they host the Duncan Demons. Third down, Gallagher again, straight ahead, and Gallagher's going to get, I started to say he's going to get in the end zone, but tripped up at the last second. Down at about the 2-yard line. So the Cougars will just get up to the line of scrimmage.
Well, and you got a 30-second play clock. So to me, I think you got 4 whole downs now. Take a knee.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think you run this in, because if you run this in, you're kind of just rubbing their nose in the dirt.
And you can give it to number 45 and you can get the touchdown.
There's always that option.
There's that option. As he is able to make the most of his opportunity to carry the football here on what would appear to be their final drive of the football game, also increasing their lead right now to 44-21 with the extra point to come.
I guess where that matters is later on in the year in playoff conversation. You can say, oh, well, you know, we had this many points for
right
at the end of the year.
They have that plus minus 15 depending upon the outcome of the victory. It used to be it didn't have a maximum of 15. It was just whatever it was. And then they decided that encouraged teams to blow other teams out in such a way that, you know, if you're winning 51-20, you might as well make it 71-20. And so exactly. They'd try to get away from that. So the extra point is up and good. Looks like we're going to keep it right here with just about 52 seconds left to go. There you can see the score. It was 10-7 at halftime. That seems almost unbelievable. And it was really...
Seems so long ago.
It really does.
It's been such an interesting second half.
The Cougars have been able to score several times, taking advantage of a number of Noble turnovers, interceptions, fumbles, and also some big plays by their offense. As you mentioned, Noble's Isaiah Wilhoit had quite a night. Probably had...
He had 3 touchdowns, so 4 on the season already. And I'm not even going to try to guess yardage.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to say at least 200.
I was going to think in that neighborhood for sure. Burgess had big plays. They had an interception return for a touchdown. So the Cougars will kick it away and give the ball again with what would appear to be one final time to the Noble Bears, but it's not to say they won't return it for a kickoff and get an onside kick.
Yeah, this game you don't know.
Return man making his way up the middle across the 35-yard line, still going.
That's a big kid to return the football.
Gets it out to the 38-yard line. Clock stopped, 39 seconds remaining. So the Bears will get a couple of plays here, opportunities. And you can bet they're going to be looking for Mr. Wilhoit. Coaches aren't going to give up. Reminder again that we have John Marshall and Douglas coming your way next week on our Oklahoma Ford Dealers Game of the Week.
You know, I just pray that that game is as interesting as this one was.
It's going to be hard to hold an interest like that. And a timeout taken by Ada, I believe. Or maybe it was taken by Noble. As you can see, walking off the field for Noble is Gavin Yeager. Kind of had the head down. I don't know if he was shaken up on the play or not, but they decided to take a timeout and talk about it on the sidelines. Any other score updates that you may have? Some scores across the state, maybe some final scores that you can impart upon our audience here this evening.
Let's see if I can get them up.
We get ready to close out our webcast here this evening. Thanks so much for joining us here tonight, and hopefully it was as good a ball game for you to watch, as entertaining, and the announcers didn't get in your way from enjoying this contest because it's been a shocking game in so many different ways tonight.
How about we go Shakota and Hilldale? Shakota went to Hilldale, and Hilldale's up 31-28. Fourth quarter's got 8 minutes left to play. Let's see, what else could we do? Kingston at Atoka. Kingston 34, Atoka 0. And we're back in the game now.
Running play across the 40-yard line. Ball carried there by number 23, Brandon Cartwright. And unless they decide to put the ball in the air, probably one more snap in this contest. And they're just going to run it out. Running play to the near side. I believe it's Cartwright again. He gets up, and the final seconds are going to tick off the scoreboard clock, and that's going to do it. As the Ada Tigers go on the road and they get the win at Noble. Your final score here tonight, the Cougars 45 and the Bears 21. We'll take a timeout, come back with our post-game wrap-up for you. Stay with us, everybody.
It's the Ford Summer Sales Event, and now is the best time to buy.
You ready for this, Junior?
Yeah, I think I can handle it.
No pressure. That's just my favorite boat.
Boom.
Make summer go right with Ford, America's best-selling brand. During the Ford Summer Sales Event, find great offers across a huge lineup of Ford cars, trucks, and SUVs. Now get 0% financing for 60 months plus $3,250 cash back on F-150 at your Oklahoma Ford dealer.
Weoki's new money certificate rates are incredible. Transfer money from another institution to a Weoki 35-month certificate and receive 3.05 APY. Yes, that's over 3%. And get a $100 cash bonus for new CD amounts of $100,000 and greater. Open your certificate with new money at Weoki and start earning incredible rates. Federally insured, rate and bonus are for new money only. Other terms and limitations apply. Contact Weoki for details.
No one thinks about their water heater until it fails.
At that point, you have a huge mess on your hands with water damage everywhere.
A planned water heater replacement can save you a lot of trouble.
Right now, you can save big on a new high-efficiency water heater.
Call Airco Service,
the company you know.
Welcome back once again, your Oklahoma Ford Dealers Game of the Week. You can see the Ada Cougars all huddled around their coach, and they are a happy group tonight because they went on the road and got the win at Noble tonight. Final score once again, 45-21. Let's take a look at some of those second half highlights. Remember, it was 10-7 Ada at the half. And here's one of the big plays in that second half as you see the quarterback is stripped and Ada's able to come up with the turnover.
Yeah, he kind of just tripped up from behind and he didn't have a great grip on that football. So when he took that kind of step to regain his balance, lost the football.
So Ada then is able to take advantage of that, and here comes the running play here, or the pass play rather. That's the quick out that they threw to Shannon. Shannon makes a nice move and gets in for the score.
Yeah, corner was really aggressive on the pass play, bit and tried to make the tackle early and just whiffed on it and was able to get an easy score.
Ada goes up 17-7, but then Noble answers right back. As you can see, Lingle rolling to his right, and he's going to go deep, and he's going to find one of his favorite targets of the night.
Yeah, that was another great pass all the way out to Will Hoyt, and Will Hoyt got his second touchdown right there off of that play.
17-14, Ada still on top, but they weren't done before the end of the third quarter, and that's Burgess right there. As Burgess is going to take it in, he outraces Will Hoyt, a battle of number ones, and just does get into the end zone to make it 24-14.
Yeah, Burgess kind of caught that ball on a crossing route over on the right side, and then just turned and went switching fields and turned it all the way up the field and cut it up for a touchdown.
All right, now tell me if you've seen this ever happen before in a football game. Punting situation, he dropped it once, dropped it twice, and rather than try to pick it up a third time, just tries to go ahead and kick it. The ball comes out loose. It's a loose football, and Ada's able to get back on top of it.
I don't know. I've seen that as many times as I've seen a real-life unicorn.
There you go. So the next play we've got, Noble, long pass here. That's going to set up another touchdown. As you can see the pass here, and again, it's Will Hoyt getting him inside the 10-yard line.
Yeah, and I think that was the play that I said. I think he was just in trouble and just looked for Will Hoyt and just said, you know what, I'm just going to throw it at him. That's all I can do.
I think he did that again later as well.
Yeah.
All right, now let's take a look as we're going to see our next highlight here is going to be Ada, and this is Burgess on his long touchdown reception. I don't remember if that was the interception.
That was the interception, yeah, the pick six. He caught the ball and took off down the other way. Did a great job taking that one back to the house.
All right, so that made it 31-21. And then this is the pick six. This is Gilliam. So there was a couple of pick sixes in this ball game, but Gilliam takes it back to make it 38-21. And then one more touchdown for the Cougars as Ada is going to close out the scoring here. As getting into the end zone is Gallagher to get the final score of the night, and the final score again of 45-21.
Yeah, the clock was just running down. They were just running the ball all the way down the field and let the big boy get some points there at the end of the game.
All right, so that'll do it. Final score once again. The Ada Cougars go on the road. They get the upset victory over the Noble Bears by a score of 45-21. For Mark Jeffries and for Dylan Rivera, I'm Steve Marshall. Don't forget to join us next week as we'll take a look at John Marshall, the Bears taking on the Trojans of Douglas. Should be another great game right here on YurView.com, your Oklahoma Ford dealers game of the week. See you next week, everybody. So long.